Welcome to Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome into Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Hayes, with Matt Baker.
That's me.
You can find us at avgffpod.com. You can find us on Apple and Spotify, just about anywhere else you can get a podcast. Go give us a like, follow, and subscribe. Help us get this thing going. So, it's been a rough fantasy week.
This week's it's had its ups and downs. I'm gonna say, like, after the early games, I was extremely nervous in quite a few leagues. Like,
Yeah.
and then, it was decided in the middle games before the late game. So I mean, it was kind of nice to not have to like ride on the last game for a win or loss. I mean, and I mean both sides of the spectrum for me. But like everything that I've got going tonight, it doesn't matter.
I still have some things up in the air. I need a lot of points from Lamar. I need Lamar to have one of those epic nights. And
like
I need
a 50-point, 45-point week.
But the problem being in multiple leagues is I'm also going up against a guy who has Zay Flowers and people going to get people with Lamar.
Yeah.
So it's like if he goes off, then I'm probably going to lose other matches, but I'll win. So it doesn't really. I mean, ultimately, it don't matter.
That's where I'm at. Is like the leagues that I absolutely need something drastic. I need Derrick Henry to have a game. Mm-hmm. But
I also have the Derrick Henry league.
At the same time, it's like, I can take this loss a lot easier than I could take the other loss that I'm already winning. You know, like I need to win that one.
And I already got clapped in our home dynasty. I've already got clapped in our home redraft. My mom beat the dog shit out of me.
Oh yeah, she had a week. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
So those are the two that I want to win the most.
So we need to check our home dynasty because like I know I was winning and I should win because
if. Unless Will Dissly goes Hamburglar, I'm going to lose in your league to a guy who had two quarterbacks and a running back on a bye.
I saw that
because he had Barkley.
Did what two quarterbacks and a running back would have done on his own.
Over 70 points in that league because of bonuses and shit.
Yeah, the 70 point. He had two 70-plus yard running touchdowns. I mean, that's 20 points without any scores or anything.
Yeah, he destroyed me in that league.
That was
and I don't even know what the score is right now. I just know that Dissly's got to have a game.
Well, in our home dynasty league, I need Derrick Henry to at least score his projection at 17 points. And my defensive player to put up his projection. Outside of that, but I mean, and if I lose in that league, I mean, I lose in that league. I don't want to. I would hate. The only reason I don't want to lose is because of who it's to.
Right. That's why. That's the thing. I don't want to lose. I don't mind losing this league. I mean, I'm fighting for the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. I'm 5-6. I am fighting my face off to get in the playoffs. I just don't want to lose to a guy that's still got two quarterbacks and a wide receiver on bye, and his linebackers on a bye. Four of his starters are on a bye. And I'm going to lose to this guy unless Will Dissly somehow drops over like 50 points. He's got 50 will tie it. 50 on the nose will tie me.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And we don't have any crazy scoring for tight ends in this league. So I don't see that happening.
Yeah, you can just write that off.
Yeah.
I think it's like a half-point PPR, but it's not like super crazy.
No, and we don't have bonuses for I mean, unless he gets like a crazy receiving.
If he gets an 80-yard, touchdown, then he'll get a little extra. But that's a far cry for
a tight end.
Yeah, for that to happen.
So I'm going to lose in that league, and that might knock me completely out of the mix to somebody who didn't even set their fucking lineup. So that's the only thing that irritates me.
At least.
I mean,
no,
granted,
actually, you'll still make playoffs.
Had he set his lineup, I would have absolutely got dumpster roll. But then I can look at it and go, I got dumpster roll by somebody who set a lineup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're looking at it'll move you to the bottom of the playoffs at this point.
So I'll still be in the fight.
You'll still be in the fight, and we got 2 weeks left. So I mean, it's not like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not making it in, even with this win.
I know.
So
that's another thing. But anyway, tell us about this beer or drink of the week you got us that's going to put us in a coma.
Well, it might if we drink them all. So there's a good shot that we could be in a coma before the end of the podcast.
I don't know how to open something and not drink it all. I'm not going to drink the whole box. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
I will be in a coma.
Well, so it says contains alcohol, world's tastiest party punch.
Yeah, it's
best
called
served
Beatbox.
Yeah, it's a 11.1% alcohol by volume. There's a blue raspberry, a fruit punch, and a cherry limeade. It's non-carbonated. I don't see anything. It doesn't say anything like
Well, I can tell you that I've got the cherry limeade. Yeah. It tastes a little bit like cough syrup, but not so much that it's undrinkable.
That's at 11.5%. I can see where that
as something that has 11.1% alcohol.
Excuse me, 11.1.
Yeah,
I said 11.5 earlier too. I guess it was just in my head because I'm dumb.
But yeah, as something that has that, it's not. It's definitely not as harsh as like a beer would be with that much. But
So I got the blue raspberry. And I see the cough syrup vibe.
Same thing.
It's definitely got the cough syrup.
I think mine's vibe. Also because it's got that cherry flavor, and it's like a cherry.
That's what this is. It's got that.
I've definitely had more of a cough syrup flavor out of stuff than this.
Yeah, this almost just reminds me of a cough syrup.
This would actually be a better mixer than a straight drink. Here, try it.
I don't know if you like blue raspberry, but
yeah, I love blue raspberry stuff.
Let it like
Actually, this is to me is better than that.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
but it's more.
It's
sure. Cough syrupy though, right?
Not as bad as that. You'll see in a second.
See, I like this one better than that one.
Well, then we can swap because this one I would much rather have this blue raspberry. It tastes way better.
I still get the the cough syrupy vibe, but I mean this one just is. I don't know, it just tastes better to me. That one's a little rougher.
Well, we're doing 2 shows in one. And we're starting with 11.1% alcohol by volume
right
drink.
Off the rip.
So by the end of the second show, it's going to get fucking interesting.
Very interesting.
So stick around.
Yes.
But let's roll ahead and roll into the news. All right. So big news coming out. I guess big news. Couple things. One, Gardner Minshew's out for the season, and that's not big as far as like you weren't playing Gardner Minshew, but it is big news because you were playing Jacoby Myers and you were playing probably some of those running backs, and you were definitely playing
Brock
Bowers, who also got hurt in that game and he did not practice today. So so those things could be in effect. We know that Desmond Ridder is garbage can doo-doo brown town. And so we're hoping there's a chance Aiden O'Connell will be back by Friday and then he'll play Sunday. But it's crazy when you live in a world where you want Aiden O'Connell to be the starter.
Yeah, I know, right?
If you have those players.
Come on, please.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Minshew broke his collarbone. And so we'll have to wait and see how the rest of the week plays out. Brock Purdy threw today with no issues. David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown both did not practice. Amon-Ra, I think, was going to be fine for this week, but I feel like Monty's not going to play.
Yeah, you definitely got to monitor that
because they got a short week. They're playing a Thanksgiving game, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like 4 days. They play every Thanksgiving.
Yes,
so
them the Cowboys.
Yeah, it didn't look promising when he did go out and all the downtime. And plus, they got Jahmyr Gibbs, wide risk the injury and the hurt and all that stuff. So I mean, they're so far up they could sit both their guys and it wouldn't even really matter too much. Brian Robinson is wait and see with his ankle. He hurt it. You say he came in and then went back out and then came in and then went back out. I only saw, but I also fell asleep. So I wasn't like intently watching. But either way, he left the game. We thought he was toast. We was like, that looks like it. When it first happened, I was like, well, he's out for the season. He's not playing no more. And then he hobbled off the field and then he came back and I was like, oh, okay. And then at some point after that, I dozed off for a little while. And then I woke up and I saw on my phone that he's been declared out. So we're going to have to see how that goes with his ankle. That's going to be tough. And then Austin Eckler got a pretty heavy concussion in that game as well. Yeah, it was a pretty nasty. And that's his second big concussion of the season. It was a weird situation too because the tackle didn't look that bad. Right. But the situation looked bad. Yeah. So I do not expect him to play. And Robinson's still up in the air. So definitely need to monitor that. McNichols is going to become very important for them. And then there's some other unknown guy that came in. I can't remember off the top of my head in that game as well. Jatavian Sanders, a tight end for the Panthers, who was starting out to have a really good game, fell directly on top of his head, hurt his neck, had to get carted off the field. They had him strapped down. He went to the hospital, got checked out. So the only thing we know is they say he avoided serious injury, but he's still day-to-day. So we don't know about his status for this week. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence is practicing today. I expect him to be back this week. Josh Downs is going to be week to week with a shoulder issue. And I think that's it. Now, look,
All right, so it stopped recording. The last thing I said was Josh Downs is going to be out. I have no idea why it stopped recording.
That was weird.
Maybe I hit the maybe I had the mouse up here. I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
So that's why there's going to be a little bit of a hitch there after we talked about Josh Downs.
We'll try to fix it.
But Josh Downs was basically the end of the news. And like I was saying, is there's a lot of stuff going to be coming across the wire of people who aren't practicing, questionable, things like that. And we got a short week, so we'll try to if anything comes across the wire while we're talking, we'll try to hit on it. But other than that, you're just going to have to pay attention to your apps and your lineups and keep a close eye on who's playing and who's not. So, matter of fact, there's a sleeper notice right now.
There was a Trash Panda releasing today.
Was there?
Yes. Like waived. They waived him. He's gone. They
waved yeah.
Bye-bye.
Dulcich.
Yeah, I know. Like,
oh my God, who the hell cares?
But now we can argue a little less over which one of their tight ends is going to be the guy. Instead of it being 3 or 4 to choose from, there's only 2 to 3 to choose from. So it makes it a little easier for us. But yeah.
Apparently I have Rasheen Ali, but that's because I have no one else to play. On a team where I have I'm doing a full blown rebuild.
Send it.
And I traded everybody away. But my phone was like, bro, games are starting. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I'm going to pause real quick because I got to do some lineups. All right, we're back. I had to set my Monday night DFS. I forgot all about it. So anyway, I was trying to do it while Baker was talking, and I was like, I can't focus and do this. So there it is. There's the news. From there, give me no, I know what we got. Let's roll into fuck that guy. We did not pass off people, so if I say them, you can cross them out. I'm going to kick it off with some Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, 11.3 points. You're playing against Seattle. We expected big points out there, and you were trash. And also, your running back, trash. James Conner, 7.4 fantasy points. Killing me, Smalls. I had both of you in different lineups and some of the same lineups. And then my co-smash of the week, Marvin Harrison Jr., 6.2 fantasy points. The entire Arizona offense was a garbage.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And you know what? I think no, I'm sorry, he wasn't on there. I thought McBride was on there. I think he was only part of that.
He had
offense.
like 77 targets though, yeah. So it was based sheerly on volume for his points and everything.
So Kyler Murray, James Conner, and Marvin Harrison Jr. I want to say from me to you for killing a lot of my fantasy lineups. Fuck those guys.
And I guess I'll mix up a couple Lions into this. All right. One of the same point. I got Jared Goff, 9.8 points. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can win the game and not do well, but come on, dude.
Yes. Like he's had a few like that.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah, that team is so fucking dominant right now.
It is. It doesn't even matter. I mean, and then my smash tight end of the week, hint, hint, Sam Laporta, 3.4 points. Yep. Like, I'm so nerve-wracked and upset with the whole situation.
Garbage can on doo-doo.
It did not work out good if you played either one of them, and I want to just say wholeheartedly.
Yes. Fuck those guys. Speaking of fucking those guys, no, I'm just kidding. Jonathan Taylor, 2.5 fantasy points.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yes. It's been such a weird season for him.
Yeah.
And he is, I don't know. You either get a good week or a bad week, and it's like, I don't know. That team is so weird to me. That entire Colts team is so weird to me.
Yes.
And
it's all up in the air. Every week it's a new team. Yeah. They play differently every week. You can't figure nothing out.
And then CMC, 5.3 points. This might be the first time you've ever been on this list, but you're here, buddy. You played the whole game and you were trash. That team was trash. I expected you to be better because I figured they were going to need you to stay competitive, and it was not good.
It wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
Apparently, Kittle's the glue that holds, or Kittle is the guy, the main guy on the offense.
Because it also isn't Deebo Samuel.
No,
2.6 fantasy points.
I didn't even go far enough on the list to pull his name.
I did. Deebo Samuel 2.6, Jonathan Taylor 2.5, and CMC, who had as much almost combined. Actually, he had as much combined as those two together.
As the two together.
Yeah, and it was still garbage. So to all three of them, fuck those guys.
Well, I'm going to throw a couple running backs out here just to wipe these off my list. I'm sure they're on yours as well. Joe Mixon.
Yep.
I mean, dude, you've been averaging like 15 points a week and you throw 7 up. I mean, and it's not even that tough of a matchup in my opinion. And you're out there just looking like you've never run the ball before.
Yeah, it was not
Najee Harris.
Yeah, they played the Colts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Colts are a plus matchup.
Yeah, exactly. They were like 26 or 25 or something on the whatever. Yeah. Najee Harris, dude, you've been showing us you're taking the job.
Putting him on the list.
But it's like, I mean, Jaylen Warren had a good game, and Najee's, it's been opposite all season. I guess it's the Warren time now.
Well, Warren's been hurt most of the season. This is like his 3rd week back, so I think he's starting to finally get back and get figured it out.
And that's great. That's awesome.
That's great. It's not good for Najee.
No, it's not at all. Apparently, because 6.4 points. Yeah. And then Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah,
you are the offense now. You're the dude. You gotta. This is the time when you
want to be a big dog. You gotta step up.
You gotta show up and show out. It doesn't matter if DeVito's out there handing out noodles and whatever those kind of guys do out there. I don't know what the deal is, but he's not a great quarterback. I'll say that. But
out noodles or whatever
the running back,
guys
exactly. The running back needs to step up and be the dude that makes the difference. And you didn't.
I feel like it was somehow racist against Italians, and I don't know if you can be racist against Italians.
I don't know if is it considered racist or like ethnicist. Yeah, I'm an ethnicist or whatever. I don't know. That sounds like a really smart doctor, but ethnicist. Anywho,
but to Tyrone Tracy.
Yep, Mixon and Najee Harris.
Yes,
fuck those guys.
Well, I'm going to throw another running back in there. It's the last one I got on the list, and that's Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams, 9.2 fantasy points and a half-point PPR. You killing me, Smalls. I was playing you and like I don't know, backup running back. Like I had you and what's his face for Seattle? I want to say
Charbonnet. Yeah, you're
I was
close.
thinking of Charlemagne.
Charlemagne is very close. You could have said that, and I would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's him."
Charbonnet. I had to run him and Charbonnet, but I was like, "Well, Kyron will do good enough. He'll cover both." No, he didn't. And then here's some wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, 3.7 points. Another one. This might be the first time he's ever on this list.
That's because. What's his name? They had them triple coverage the whole game.
Yeah.
So
they didn't need it either. They were basically control that game from the jump. Jaden Reed, 4.1 fantasy
got
points.
Him here.
George Pickens, 6.8. You've been dominating, and then it fell off. Tyreek Hill, I don't know what's going on, man. 7.3. It looked like you've taken a backseat to Jonnu Smith. DK Metcalf, 7.9 points. So to all of you gentlemen, fuck those guys.
And that's all.
Go ahead and clear your list.
I'm clearing my list. It's all tight ends from here on out.
Yeah, I have all tight ends too. So
Dallas Goedert 3.9.
Yep, got him.
David Njoku 3.4.
Yep.
Kate Otten 3.5.
Yep.
And Brock Bowers 5.8.
Yeah, I'm going to throw one more on there.
And now with Brock Bowers, there was an injury. He did. I don't think he played the whole snap percentage he has been, but still. 5.8 after a week, you had like 96 points or whatever it was last week. It's just, it's absurd.
I'm going to throw one more on there. The tight end one for the Kansas City Chiefs. Noah Gray. Motherfucking Gray. I am, you cannot understand the vehement dislike I have. It's for a multitude of reasons. Number one, I don't have anything personal against Noah Gray. He seems like a nice enough dude. But here's the problem I have. Number one, I have multiple shares of Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And on the teams where I have Travis Kelce, I have grabbed Noah Gray, and he's on my benches in those leagues. Okay. And then they were playing against my Panthers, who I've pretty much given up on, except for they started playing good, and Bryce has actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe they can win this game. And which they put up a good fight.
They did fight. Yeah,
but Noah Gray is out there getting two touchdowns a week the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's killing the Kelce shares. It's killing it. And it's like every time Noah Gray catches a pass, I want to scream, because here's what's going to happen. I'll throw Noah Gray in next week in a flex, and he'll get no passes.
We're going to bring him up a little bit, so it might actually pay off.
Man, it's like if I would have played him in like a flex play or something this week, which I considered.
Like
it.
with Kelce.
Yeah, or even just playing it, because I was like, well, he had 2 touchdowns last week. The Panthers are pretty soft against pass. Maybe blah blah blah. But I'm like, nah. I'll play Demarcus Robinson instead, or Westbrook Akine, which those weren't terrible plays.
Yeah, Demarcus Robinson probably would have worked out okay.
But it's not 2 touchdowns like Noah Gray.
Yeah, no, it's not 22 points. It's like 11.
And I'm just it's just, oh God, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had such a fantasy football hatred for a player who's doing good.
No way that I have against Noah.
Oh man,
or your McKinnon. Which one is it that I hate?
It's not the but you didn't hate them because they were doing good. You hated.
I hate them in general, but not personally.
You didn't. Okay, first of all, it wasn't McKinnon. There was McKissick. It was McKinnon. And the reason it was is because it was the year McKinnon was at San Francisco, and they didn't have any at the time. They had no other running backs on their roster that were good of note.
Yeah.
And so everybody was like, the hype train was in full speed about McKinnon. They're like, man, McKinnon, this is his year. He's finally going to get a shot, yada, yada, yada. And there's just certain things that, like, certain players that get hyped. Like, you don't like hype players anyway.
No,
unless they've earned it.
Yeah, once you know that they're the dude.
Yeah, like if people are hyping Justin Jefferson, that doesn't irritate you.
No.
But if they're hyping a guy who's never caught a pass or has never done anything worth of shit,
everybody's out there, go get this guy. If they're hyping a Baker's bottom, there's no reason for you to hype a Baker's bottom.
And so you immediately turned. But then the next year, you were still irritated at McKinnon, but you couldn't remember if it was McKinnon or McKissick.
So it was both of them.
So then you just adopted the hatred to McKissick, who was a complete innocent bystander in this.
He caught it, though.
Yeah.
He caught it all.
And so, no, my hatred for Noah Gray is because he's doing good and taken away from a player I need to get those points.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, therefore, it has created a deep-seated, burning hatred in my chest for that player. It's the same way that you get mad when you see a backup running back come out and steal touchdowns from your
Cam Akers.
Yes.
Tell me about it. Yeah,
or Sean Tucker steal.
The first Bucky. That should have been Bucky Irving.
He almost got 2.
Man, I tell you what, I know what you mean.
All right, so that would be the last one. That would be the list. So to all of those,
tight ends.
Yeah,
fuck those guys.
All right, so from there, I never have this pulled up. I always forget, but it's
top performers.
Yeah, let's get to the top performers. So find me some sort of transition while I have to go in here and pull up.
Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook. We hot.
Yeah,
I need to remember that one.
Yeah.
Every time we go into top performers.
That's the top performers drop right now.
That is definitely the top performers.
All right, so let's go ahead. We'll start in the quarterback. Now, it didn't start out great for this guy. The game I watched, I was just like, Jaden Daniels was killing me most of that game. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting destroyed. I'm dying everywhere. And then all of a sudden, the end of that game turned into one of the craziest endings of a football game I've ever watched in my life. And Jaden Daniels ended up being the QB1 of the week right now.
So crazy. I bet he was at halftime. I guarantee he was like QB 28.
It
was bad.
He didn't have double digits at halftime.
That's what I'm saying. It was like 6 or 7 points. It wasn't much at all.
Yeah, it was trash. But he ended up throwing 275 yards, rushed for another 74, had 2 passing and 1 rushing touchdown. So ended up saving his week, even though they did catch that L. Hey, Dan Quinn, you should have went for 2. I don't know if you get it, but it's like, when you had all the momentum in that moment, you just made one of the biggest plays. You got to go for 2 right there.
Eminem said it best when he said you get one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment.
The great philosopher Eminem. Yeah. Now here's the thing though. So the general rule in the NFL is you go for the tie at home, the win on the road. That's the way that that's the mentality. But my thing is like, I'm looking at it like this. You just threw this amazing bomb to McLaurin, who, if they tackle him inbounds, game's over.
Game's over.
He runs past 4 guys who didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Something that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. I never thought McLaurin was slow. But damn, that dude's fast. He's he's faster than you think.
That play was super fast. Yeah, no, it was insane.
And so he gets down there, he scores, and as soon as he scores, Quinn's throwing up the number 1, and it's like, no, bro. I was immediately. I mean, you were the same way. It's like you got to go for 2.
Yelling. You have to.
Yeah, because you have that. You also have a quarterback who is easily in the top 3 to 5 hardest players to defend in the NFL. And so you in short yardage situations.
Yeah.
So you got 2 yards to get a 2-point conversion and win that game. And you have a player whose athletic ability is superior to everybody on the field.
Exactly.
And you are in control of how you call that play. And as much as I bag on Cliff Kingsbury, he is a decent offensive coordinator who can be inventive. So you hit him up and you say, I want your best short yardage play right now. I don't want no run up the middle. I want the best one.
I want something nobody's going to see.
Yeah, I want the best one. Yep. Dig into your bag of tricks. Let's go. Let's get this 2-point conversion. And you go out there with that guy, with that team, and you do something that and you
win the game.
You win the game.
You win the game.
And if you lose, you lose. But at least you lost on your terms, not the terms of a kicker who had already had a bad game.
Yep.
So
it was a bad snap.
Who was coming off an injury. It was a terrible snap, and he was coming off an injury as well.
Yep. And then on top of that, who would have thought that they would have got the ball right back because Dallas would have picked up the onside and took it for a touchdown, which hurt, put them 8 back. So,
Dallas, but the thing is that the crazy thing is that Dallas does that. That guy does that. That puts them up by 8 and gives the ball back to them in 14 seggons.
They still have time. They can potentially.
And so the thing is like, had they scored that touchdown, it's kind of like what happened to the Falcons a couple years ago when Gurley was with the Falcons and he should have went down and he didn't.
He ran
and they ended up scoring going into overtime.
Yeah.
And so if he just goes down, it's 100% guaranteed win.
The game's
Him scoring
over.
the touchdown actually gave them a chance.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who would have thought that they would have had another opportunity
right.
to get the ball back and potentially attempt to win,
Somehow I clicked out of what I got into to get to the top performers. But anyway, so the QB2 on the week currently, now this is before Monday Night Football, is
do I need to pull it up? Help?
No, I got you. Tua had a great game passing as well.
It wasn't the Tyreek, though.
No, it was to Waddle and Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, that's what's going to cost me in our home fucking dynasty league, man.
317 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and he's just on one. Patrick Mahomes, because he had to, he got pushed by the Panthers, 269 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, and he had 60 yards rushing, which is a little bit out of character for him. He had that one big rush that basically sealed the game for them there at the end. Caleb Williams, they've played pretty well the last couple of games. It just hasn't worked out for them in the win column. But 340 passing yards, rushed for 33, had 2 passing touchdowns. Sam Darnold had a clean game, 330 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. It's QB5 on the week. Bo Nix, do you know that Bo Nix since week 5 has been the number 3 fantasy quarterback?
Oh wow!
Yeah, he has been. That team they're clicking. They're just clicking right now. They went out there and dominated Las Vegas. He threw for 273.
Too, so
yeah, they got a really good defense.
Their defense is top notch.
And he had 2 passing touchdowns. So Denver is one of those. And I think Bo Nix, Bo and this I'm not trying to repeat other podcasts, but if you look at the numbers, Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels and some of these rookie quarterbacks could take people to championships this year based off the way they're playing and the schedules they got coming towards the end of the season.
Their win-loss record right now and what they got to play coming up. I mean, I can easily see a couple.
I think Bo Nix has the number 5 easiest schedule coming up for quarterbacks.
It looks easy to me. I mean, Indianapolis, now Chargers are going to be tough.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati, as long as he can keep up with Burrow.
Yeah.
Because their defense is good, but I mean, Burrow's fucking.
Yeah, well, their
Burrow's
secondary is
good,
not great. And
yeah. He can score. He's just going to have to beat Burrow. Essentially, is what I'm saying. Because Cincinnati's defense is garbage.
Yes,
so they're going to do okay as long as he can hold his head up.
Right,
but Burrow can match it. We saw.
I thought you were talking about the Denver defense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Matthew Stafford, QB7 on the week, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. A lot of that was in garbage time. They got blown out by Philly.
Yeah, I was a little shocked about his final, but it does make sense where they were so bad
because they were playing soft defense in that second half, especially in the fourth quarter.
Just ran all the hell over them.
Yeah, we'll talk about that dude in a minute. CJ Stroud finally getting things clicking again. QB8 on the week, 247 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. And that's basically, I don't really even talk about Cooper Rush and all these guys. I guess Baker was okay, 294 yards. Cooper did okay.
It's crazy to say Cooper Rush had a good game after everybody was like,
Will Levis had a decent game. Bryce Young, QB12 currently on the week.
Yeah, I
do want to say something real quick. I don't know that I'm a Panther fan. I have dogged on Bryce. So as much as I've dogged on him, I have got to give him his props. I couldn't watch that game. So I've watched it through Red Zone.
Yeah.
And so and
so you didn't see the play-by-play, but you saw the highlights.
But they were in the red zone a lot, and so there was a lot of play for it. I was really impressed. I was impressed with how he managed that offense. He was getting blitzed in his face. He stood in that pocket tall. He made some really tough passes down the stretch, and it only because of him and his play were they able to even keep it close. And potentially they ended up tying the game at the end with over a minute and something left, and then of course they let Kansas City, the defense let Kansas City come down and win the game. Yeah. But I was super impressed with him. He made some really big plays, and he's given hope to Carolina Nation. I think that Dave Canales is creating an offense that fits his style, and he has got confidence in that offense. And I think Adam Thielen, the addition of him coming back, is going to be good. Just because of what Adam brings in attitude and energy. You see him out there, he is pumped.
Leadership, just in general.
He's creating, like, whenever Bryce makes a great play, he's hyping him.
Yep.
And I think that's super important. So I want to shout out to that. And I like the direction. I like the offensive scheme they're running. It's the first time as a Panther fan I've seen them run an offensive scheme where I'm like, I like what they're doing.
I'm on board here. Yeah. I'm on board here. Yeah, no, I get it. I've watched him, and I'm not sold. Even still, though, but we talked about it in past podcasts where we got this, where we think these people should just come in and just be the best person of that position ever. And I think he needed time behind somebody, and I still don't think he had enough time. Even Andy Dalton, came in and played some, and then the injury and the car accident.
Maybe he needed a year to sit last year.
Had he not played last year, to come in looking like he does right now. Yeah. Then we'd be like, okay, I see a future in this guy. Right. Instead of seeing what we saw already, and then now we're just now seeing it. So it's just a little late.
My biggest knock on him is still, I don't feel like he has a killer instinct.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that bothers me. And I'm not saying you have to have that, but it is something that to me is very important. If you're going to be a leader, is you have to have that instinct. And maybe he's just young and he's still trying to mature, and maybe he has it and I just haven't seen it because I'm obviously not on that team.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't come across to me as a dude who's just, he's, as they say, got that dog in
him. Yeah.
And so that's the only thing. I don't want to say soft because I saw him take some big hits yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think he's soft in the sense of he can't take a hit. I just don't know mentally how
confident.
It's confident or just like alpha. I think the whole alpha thing's overplayed, and I hate saying it, but I think it's the easiest way for me to describe what I'm trying to say. When Bryce Young walks into a room, I don't think he owns that room. And so I just worry about that a little bit with him.
We saw a big part of what alpha can get you with Baker this last week, which I know we've seen Baker this year with Tampa Bay. He's got something that
he's got that thing, that dog in him. Yeah.
One of the real reasons that Bucky had such a big week this week, there was 2 times when Bucky got the ball and Baker was leading the tackles for him. He was out there showing what he's willing to put his body at risk.
But he'll get in a motherfucker's face. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He'll talk shit. He'll plant a flag. He'll and
he'll do the opposite team's celebration in the end zone when
he'll do the Tommy DeVito dance.
Exactly.
And some of that seems kind of like dickhead moves, and maybe they are dickhead, but it's also like he's got that swag.
He lets you know that the team's going to follow him because he's out there being what they want to be.
Right.
If he gets fined, who gives a shit?
Right.
If he's causing a scene, who gives a shit?
Right.
He's still leading his team.
Right. He's being a leader through his play, and he's not afraid to get into a brawl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He'll swing on a motherfucker, and he'll also tuck that ball and run through 3 motherfuckers.
The fact that I saw something new in this game with Baker this week that I've seen it in glimpses, but I haven't seen it in this majority, whatever, like this much. That dude was out there for his team the whole game.
That's how he was in college.
He was out there, like literally when he was leading Bucky towards the end zone, like he turned around, stopped, and tackled the guy behind him. He was throwing his shoulder. Man, it's crazy to see a quarterback get out there and put their body, their everything at risk.
Yeah.
Not just for their run, but for their teammate, like to help their teammate.
And then that one run that he did have where he basically tucked it and ran right past like 4 or 5 dudes and then threw a guy to get a touchdown.
I kind of low key was like, damn, I might be a fucking Tampa fan next year just to see Baker like run this, because I think another year with Baker, with the way they're developing their team, it hasn't all with the loss of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, the injuries and such, that's kind of held them back. But it's nice to see somebody come into a team and just literally take it on his shoulders and look.
You think about the entire path of Baker, him going to Cleveland, taking him to the playoffs, and then being maligned and basically run out of town for a creep in Watson, and the whole story. Then he goes to Carolina, and that dumpster fire of a situation, because that's when what's his name was there, the coach.
That
got fired.
Yeah,
excuse me. And then he goes to the Rams after everybody got hurt there, and they were still fighting for the playoffs. Shows up on a Tuesday, plays on a Thursday, wins.
Yeah,
but didn't play real good after that. And then you just kind of felt like he lost everything. And then he gets to Tampa, and he's fighting with Trask for the starting job. And everyone's like, is Trask going to get the start? Is Baker going to get the start? And Baker ends up winning that job. And since then, it's just been he's regained all that confidence, all that swag, and he has turned into what Cleveland wanted him to be, but they could not help him to become.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Let's roll to the running backs. I think Saquon just broke another 70-yard run while we were talking.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
But he is the RB1. He ran for 255 yards, caught another 47, had 2 rushing touchdowns. He absolutely destroyed the Rams, and it was something beautiful to watch.
It was embarrassing.
It was
embarrassing for the Rams.
100%. Josh Jacobs got 3 touchdowns. He ran for 106 yards. He was just
I low-key felt he was going to win all my weeks, and then Saquon went out and did what he did. So it was like every 10 minutes I was getting another notification for a 1-yard Josh Jacobs touchdown, and then all of a sudden every 10 minutes I'm getting a notification for a 70-yard Saquon Barkley touchdown. The
RB3 in the week currently is Jahmyr Gibbs, 90 rushing yards, 9 receiving, 2 rushing touchdowns. You just brought him up a second ago. Bucky Irvin, 87 rushing yards, 64 receiving, 1 rushing touchdown. We talked about Bucky before the season.
Yep.
We were on him. It was somebody we told you from the jump to look out for because of his profile as an athlete and what he's able to do. I think he has finally taken that job. He out-snapped Rachaad White. I'm not saying Rachaad White is benched. I'm just saying I think this is Bucky's team, and Rashad's going to come in and spell him a little bit.
He's going to kind of play that slot too, I think. Like, he's got hands still. Like, until when Godwin comes back, we may see a lot less of Rachaad White. I'm going to put it that way.
Right. Tony Pollard had 119 rushing yards, got a rushing touchdown. Devon Achane didn't have a ton of yards. He only had 32 rushing and 24 receiving, but he had 2 receiving touchdowns. And since he's been back, or since Tua's been back, he's averaging over 23 fantasy points a week.
Yeah, he's monstering.
Nick Chubb had a couple touchdowns. It wasn't super efficient again, but he had he got them 2 touchdowns. So, and he played 66% of the snaps. So it looks like he's
getting back
working himself back into being that main dude. Aaron Jones had 106 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. Seems like he's back in the swing of things there. Amir Abdullah had 28 rushing yards, 37 receiving. He played 90% of the snaps, and he had receiving touchdowns. So he was a great bye week fill-in for you.
Oh, yeah.
In limited play, David Montgomery, before he had to leave hurt, had 37 rushing, 36 receiving, and a rushing touchdown. And Chuba Hubbard, I didn't think it was going to be a good week, and I was wrong. 58 rushing, 2 receiving. He got a rushing touchdown, so he saved the week. And then Jaden Daniels, 45 rushing, 19 receiving, and a touchdown.
That was Jalen Warren.
What did I say? Reed?
Jaden Daniels.
I don't
know why you said Jaden Daniels.
Who knows why I do what I do.
Jalen Warren.
And just like everybody would have guessed, Jordan Addison, wide receiver 1, he's been absolutely stinking up your roster all season. And then this week, he goes.
You probably benched him to play somebody stupid.
Oh, he was probably on waivers.
That's what I'm saying. You probably play somebody stupid. Like, I don't know.
8 receptions, 162 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Cortland Sutton, dude's been money since Nix has been money. 8 receptions, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. He won me some money in DFS. Jalen Waddle.
Another
finally.
one on waivers.
Yeah, the other one that had been dropped. You'd actually dropped him.
Yeah, I was just like done with this guy. And of course.
Yeah. Now, in your defense, you dropped him like 3 weeks ago. But
Yeah, no, I know.
It wasn't just this. That would have hurt if you just dropped him this week.
Yeah, if I dropped him this week and he throws up 20.
Went and picked up like fucking Ty Johnson or something. 8 receptions, 144 yards, and a receiving touchdown. DJ Moore finally getting back into the swing of things. 7 receptions, 106 yards, and a tud. AJ Brown, I mean, God, this dude is so good, man. AJ Brown is so fucking good.
Yeah.
6 receptions, 109 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Almost had 2. Terry McLaurin, his week got saved on a 76-yard.
Yeah.
Just where he outran the whole defense. 5 receptions, 102 yards, and a tud. And then Keenan Allen, old man Rivers showing up out of nowhere. 9 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Nico Collins, just picking up where he left off before he got hurt. 5 receptions, 92 yards, and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 10 receptions on 15 targets and 121 yards. I feel like that's going to be a thing of the past, unless maybe if O'Connell comes back, maybe not. David Moore, rising from the ashes in Carolina, 6 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown. JSN, 6 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown. And Puka Nacua, 9 receptions, 117 yards, no tuds, but he's just a target monster. We'll throw a couple more in here just for good measure. Calvin Austin, 3 receptions, 70 yards, and a touchdown. I don't know what to do with those Pittsburgh receivers.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
It's interesting how that's all going to pan out down the stretch. And Cooper Kupp, in a lot of it in garbage time, 8 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown. And then Michael Pittman getting back involved in things, 6 for 96, but no touchdowns. All right, let's hit these tight ends real quick. Noah motherfucking Gray, that's his name as far as I'm concerned. 4 receptions, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trey McBride, 15 targets, 12 receptions, 133 yards.
No touchdowns.
Yeah.
Scored nearly the one tight end on the week. Like he was 1.3 points away from being the
He's
one.
He's basically the Christian McCaffrey of tight ends.
100%. Or the Puka Nacua of tight ends.
9 receptions for Jonnu Smith on 11 targets. He is the number 1 receiver right now
bullshit,
for
man.
Miami. 87 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle, 6 receptions, 82 yards and a tud. Picking up where he left off where he got hurt. Dude has been money all year. TJ Hawkinson, 7 receptions, 114 yards. It's good to see. Austin Hooper, what?
Yeah, damn weird touchdown chunk play.
4 receptions, 59 yards and a tud. Chigakakwa, 1 reception, 70 yards and a touchdown.
That was an insane touchdown, though. He had wheels on him on that. Oh, yeah.
Chig's fast, dude. And then Luke Schoonmaker, 3 receptions, 55 yards and a tud. And I guess we'll bring up Ertz, who also had a touchdown with 6 for 38.
Saved a lot of people, because it was not looking good in the first 3 quarters of that game for Ertz.
Nope. All right. Well, from there, unfortunately, let's roll into toast or roast.
That's pretty fitting.
So I'll go ahead and kick off.
Our waivers, or not waivers, but streamers.
Let's do the streamers first.
Streamers first.
Actually, I didn't do terrible in the streamers. I'm going to be pretty happy about my streamers. I had Bo Nix.
Oh, yeah. That worked out for you.
Yeah. Currently QB6, 21.1 fantasy points. I had Jatavian Sanders. I'm not going to count that as a boo because he got hurt. He only played 19% of the snaps, and he still got you 6.4 points. So I'm going to give a little bit of
more than what my smash tight end got you.
Yeah. And then my defense was Houston versus Tennessee, and they were the defense 3. They put up 18 points.
Nice.
My streamers were better than my smashes.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Mine kind of were as well, and to a degree. All
right, so give me a toast on that. I'm already feeling this beatbox. I'm going to tell you right now.
Definitely toast. My quarterback streamer this last week.
Things about to get weird.
I'm fine with weird. That's fine.
All right, so
Drake May against Miami. He put up 13.5, QB 15. Kind of that middle line. Kind of that middle line. Theo Johnson.
For a streamer, that's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Kind of the middle of the road.
Theo
Johnson.
Didn't he get hurt?
He got injured before the end of the game, but he still got you 5.4 points before he left the game. Right. Similar tight ends, but still similar. And then I said Tampa Bay versus the Giants. They put up 12 points, deep at 6 on the week. So not too bad. Not too bad.
Cheers there.
But not amazing, but it's not tight end fucking 2 or whatever, or defense 2 you had?
3.
Or whatever. 3, that's yeah.
Or was it 3 or was it 2? It's 3.
It's 3, yeah. But still not terrible.
All right, we're going to hit my don'ts. I said don't play Richardson versus Detroit. I got that right. Yeah. QB 19. He didn't kill you. He put up 12, but there was better options. And then I didn't have any. That was my only don't. That was the only don'ts I had.
That makes sense. I think I only remember you having one don't. So.
But if I would have had more don'ts, it probably would have been Chuba versus Kansas City.
Yeah, that would have been
He was the RB11, 14.5 points. And then I said, don't play Cooper Kupp versus Philly. And here's what I'll say. Cooper Kupp did not have a good game until garbage time.
Exactly, yeah.
But then in garbage time, he caught a touchdown and about 14 more passes.
It was at least 14 targets.
And he finished as a wide receiver 14 with 15 points.
Still not bad.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I got a toast and 2 roasts.
That's fine, though. I love roast. That's my favorite meal. Anywho.
Fat steak is my favorite meal.
Is it? I like roast. Anywho, Baker's Bottoms.
Yeah.
Tight end Theo Johnson, same as my smash, or not smash, but streamer.
Yeah, baby.
5.4 points.
Yeah, we'll give that to you.
He was on to 6%.
If you had to play him because you were hurting and you played Theo Johnson, you weren't. Yeah,
you were okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, I went a little high on the percentage. It was 17% owned, but Nick, Westbrook, and King got you 11.8 points. Wide receiver 19 so far on the week. Not terrible for a Baker's Bottom. And then this is like the 5th or 6th time this year, Baker's Bottom blew up.
Oh, snap. What do we got?
I said Amir Abdullah.
Oh.
3% owned, 15 points, RB9.
Some volume on it.
RB9.
Yeah.
On the week. Like I was expecting, he's going to be the guy, of course, which at that time we didn't know.
We didn't know.
Both
yes,
out, but
exactly.
I was
it's kind of like I'm assuming one of your bottoms you're going to have today is like you're projecting there's a good possibility that
there's a
one
good
or both.
enough shot to where this guy it needs to be.
It's going to get substantial.
You need to go out there and get him. But I mean, that's not bad. I mean, if you played all 3 of them, you got you 30 points.
Because here's the other thing.
Baker's Bottoms.
The other reason about Baker's Bottoms is too, if you think about it like this. When waivers ran last week, there was still no certainty on if Madison or
White were out. Yeah, exactly.
And so the bottoms is just like, hey, look, grab him now because there's a good chance. And if they're out, then this is gonna be nice.
And worst case scenario, if they're both playing, you can easily drop and pick somebody else up.
And you even said against a tough defense, I wouldn't expect a lot, but you need to get this guy because if he plays, he'll get all the work.
Volume is key in this a lot of times when they're the only guy. So yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, so it was a good week for Baker's Bottoms.
So we'll give you a little bit of that. A little cheers on that. All right, so we'll kick it off with the smashes now. Excuse me. My QB smash was Justin Herbert. He hasn't played, so can't really.
You can go ahead and toast that because I'll tell you that the last 4 weeks, that dude is on it.
Yeah.
He's got it figured out.
Which means he's going to be buns tonight.
No, he's going to do amazing.
So we'll try to remember, because this is the only show for this week. We'll try to remember to bring it up next week for anybody who gives a shit.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Okay. And then I had Brian Robinson against Dallas. That doesn't count because he got hurt.
Yeah, you can't count that.
So then so give me your quarterback and halfback before we move on.
Jaden Daniels against Dallas. There was no way that couldn't be a smash. I was like, I had to play that. And I was so nervous the first half of that game going, why?
I didn't mean to hit again.
Why is he not doing better than this? Like,
it was trash.
He should be doing so
By
good right now.
It was absolute asshole.
It was bad. I was upset. But he came out QB1.
Yep.
And I didn't pick a running back. I was like,
you didn't?
Nobody needs to play running backs this week. It doesn't matter. Actually, I said Saquon Barkley. No. Ramondre Stevenson. I said against. Yeah, no. I need like 12 of those. It was so bad. I'm gonna tell you, I went looking to see where he finished, and I realized he finished at running back 33, and I was like, oh well, shit, how many points did he have? Because I already had 33 written down, and he had 3.3 points. I was like, well, fuck, I was right both ways. It's so terrible. 3.3 points out of Ramondre. I expected so much better. I don't know what happened. I know
it was Ramondre Stevenson's what happened.
Yeah. Well, I know Gibson had. I think he got a touchdown.
Gibson
or something,
scored like 3 times as the points.
Yeah, it was probably
Ramondre scored
at least 3. It was 9 points, I think, as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no. So I did not get that smash at all.
All right. Well, my wide receiver smash was Calvin Ridley at Houston. He had 11.8 points. I'll take it. It was wide receiver 18. It wasn't the greatest smash in the world, but it didn't kill you. And then my honorary smash was Marvin Harrison Jr.
That one hurt.
Yeah. And so those are my wide receivers. And then my tight end smash was Dallas Goedert against the Rams. 3.9 points. I don't even know what tight end he was. He was so far down the list.
In all fairness, my original tight end smash was Dallas Goedert as well. And I scratched
I expected Devonta Smith to miss, and he did miss, and I was like, "This is this is a guarantee." And then it's like,
going to happen. No, they're like, no, Saquon's going to get 145 yards.
And then whatever Saquon don't get, we'll give it to AJ Brown.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that matters. But I did say smash Dallas Goedert. I scratched it out with Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
He got 3.4, which was worse than Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, 0.5 worse. So.
Just saying, still worse. And then I said DK Metcalf versus Arizona this week is going to smash, and that's not the case. It didn't happen. 7.9, wide receiver 34. It was not a good week for him, but I should have said
he should have smashed.
I should have said JSN. That way I'd sound like a genius, but it's not what happened. I wanted DK, and
he did not smash.
He did not smash.
All right, so from there, let's roll into waivers. All right, so I'm just going to run through. Did you write some down, or are you just going to go look them up now?
I didn't write any waivers down. I got my streamers, but I don't have any waivers. So
all right, so
I'm sure I can bring.
I want to hit on some of these running back waivers you need to be looking at. We just talked about the Washington situation, so this is kind of like the same thing with the Abdullah. So Jeremy McNichols you need to grab. Also Amir Abdullah, you need to grab him. We don't know what's going on with the running backs with Vegas, but Amir Abdullah might have earned himself some more touches. I would actually put, and I should have put him in better order, Roschon Johnson I would move above Abdullah. Roschon Johnson is their goal line back for the most part with Chicago, and he's getting more and more touches. I think Swift is slowly fading, and I think Roschon's going to become way more involved with that offense moving forward. Justice Hill, just because Justice Hill is a good bye week fill in. We don't have a bye week this week, excuse me, but we do have bye week apocalypse next week. And so Justice Hill, actually, that's not going to work because Justice Hill will be on a bye next week. I just thought about that. So,
Week 14,
Yeah, but Justice Hill is somebody he's good to have on your roster just because he's a good flex fill in. And you could get 20 points from him in a week and you could get zeros, but it just depends on how their game script goes. And then you got a couple cuffs you need to grab if they're out there. Trey Benson. Is it Troy? I wrote Troy down, but I think it's Trey.
Trey. Trey.
Trey Benson and Blake Corum both need to be rostered if they're out there, and they're two of the most viable cuffs that are least amount roster percentage, if that makes sense, what I just said.
Speaking to cuff, Emmanuel Wilson for Green Bay is also a cuff you probably need to have.
Yes.
As hard as they've been running Josh Jacobs the last 3 weeks, and we all know Josh Jacobs is going to miss that week.
Right.
We don't know what that week's going to be, and Emmanuel could potentially be that guy.
The same thing with Trey Benson is like James Conner's never played a full season.
Exactly.
And so so any more running backs?
Outside of if you're in dire desperate need, I mean Antonio Gibson's getting a little bit more snap percentage. I don't know if that's because Ramondre Stucks or what it is.
Well, that probably
he's getting a little more snap. He played 43% of the snaps this last week, surprisingly, which is way bigger.
It's just hard to predict what they're going to do, but yeah.
I'm just saying if you're super desperate, there's nothing out there. I mean, I wouldn't mind rostering him and waiting to see how it comes up, and especially we got a bye week next week that's going to hurt a lot of people.
Right.
So I mean. If you got them before they need them, you'll be better off. So.
Absolutely. Wide receivers, Westbrook-Akine. He seems to be getting utilized a lot. He's had 2 long touchdowns in two weeks now.
Roster that dude. He's 60% since D-Hop's been gone, or better in snap percentage.
And I thought you were talking about target. I was like, no, I don't think target's.
No. Snap, being involved in the game.
100%, 100%.
He's been in the game,
Yeah, and so Westbrook-Akine needs to be rostered. Adam Thielen needs to be rostered. Vele needs to be rostered.
100%, yes.
Keon Coleman, here's the thing. They're coming off a bye, and he was injured before the bye. There's a chance Keon Coleman's on your waivers, somebody you need to snatch up. I wouldn't play him this week, but I would definitely hold him and see. Coming out of the bye, things could
you don't know what's going to happen,
And then Noah Brown is the wide receiver, too, for Washington. He's getting the targets. He got more targets than McLaurin got.
Yeah.
So Noah Brown seems to be a guy who's working himself into a pretty consistent role with Washington. So, yeah, you know, if you got space and you're looking for, you know, fill in or whatever, that's what you need to get. I would probably put as my overall first, I would say McNichols and then Westbrook-Akina are my top two going into the week. And then I'm not sure, maybe Roschon Johnson, depending on what your needs are. If you're looking for an immediate play, you know, Adam Thielen, I guess, maybe going into the next week.
Yeah.
This will be a second week coming off of the bye. So any other wide receivers?
I would look heavily, which we'll talk about in backers bottoms, but actually, yeah, we will. Trey Tucker. And this is because now we got a new quarterback starting. And when Desmond Ridder came in, Trey Tucker got 6 targets of his 8 during the game. And he's one of those guys where he's definitely going to be boom or bust. But I think it showed a little bit more of what we can see with Desmond Ridder with his last game. He got 5 targets. He caught all 5 of them. I had to go back and look at the game because I was like, Trey Tucker got 8 targets.
Yeah.
He hasn't got 8 targets all season.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Desmond Ridder came in, targeted him 5 of his 7 targets or 7 attempts were to Trey Tucker. So that could be a big thing coming up, especially just on volume alone. Even if it's 10 yards downfield, if you get 6 targets per 40,
and you may get a week
yards,
out of him because even if Aiden O'Connell comes back Friday, he may not be ready to play on Sunday. So.
Exactly. And you're looking at, you know, we got a Bipocalypse next week, like you said. I mean, Trey Tucker can fill in the place of Zay Flowers or, you know, I don't know what the other teams were, but there's a lot of them out there. Anyways, just take the shot if you got room.
All right. Well, there it is. There are your waivers for the week, and then we'll hit on some streamers real quick. I'll go ahead and kick it off. My quarterback streamer of the week is Matthew Stafford at New Orleans. Stafford has got his wide receivers back, and win or lose, they're still chucking the ball around, and so I expect nothing less. And New Orleans' defense is garbage against the pass.
True.
So who's your quarterback streamer of the week?
Russell Wilson against the Bengals.
Okay.
They're on a heater right now. The Steelers are. They're on cloud 9, and they're playing against the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals secondary is garbage.
Garbage.
I think this is going to be a big week for Pickens as well. But I think if you're streaming people, Russell Wilson's probably out there. You can grab him and throw him in and not feel bad at all this week.
Love it. All right. Who's your defense? Did you do a tight end as well?
Yeah, my tight end. I didn't say it yet, but
go ahead.
I did write one down. Does that count?
Yes, I forget that we do tight. I don't know.
Okay,
yeah.
My tight end is a household name, but he's not owned near as much as most people would imagine. But
I want to see if I can guess it. So it's a household name, not owned by near as much as
playing
you
a super tough defense.
Playing this week, he's playing a super tough defense
in general. Super tough defense in general. I'd say they're probably top 7. And this is me guessing, not like any kind of stats or anything, but
Ertz.
No.
All right,
who's Ertz playing this week?
The Jets.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's probably.
Oh no, I'm sorry, the Titans.
Oh yeah, it's still pretty tough, but they're actually playing the Chargers. Does that help narrow it down?
I almost said it. I almost said Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
Kyle Pitts is almost my streamer of the week.
I just like I'm looking at his.
I skip past it because every time I put faith in Kyle Pitts, he burns me.
Well, the fact that he's gone a few weeks now without being heard of, I think he's going to come out and remind everybody who Kyle Pitts is.
Yeah,
and it's going to be like, oh shit, I should have put him in my lineup.
Well, hopefully he tells Kink that.
Oh yeah, well Kink will figure it out eventually, maybe. Especially with, Darnell Mooney's probably not going to be out there. So, I
That's
haven't
true.
heard a lot of good out of his coming back off his injury from last week before the bye. So, so I don't know that if he's not out there, this could be a big week for Kyle Pitts. But if not, even still, I think.
And Ray McLeod.
Oh, yeah. Ray McLeod. Exactly. But I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a big week. So,
all right. Well, my tight end streamer is Schoonmaker against the Giants.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Cooper Rush is on the injury report, so I'm hoping that he plays because I don't want Trey Lance to start.
Yeah.
So as long as Cooper Rush starts, Schoonmaker will be great. If Trey Lance starts, then I'm going to feel bad about this streamer. So do at your own risk if Cooper Rush doesn't start.
Yeah, I get that.
But as 2 weeks in a row, Schoonmaker's been good. He didn't have a ton of targets last week, but he's still good in fantasy for you. So.
Yep.
And then my defensive streamer is Kansas City at the Raiders versus the Raiders. And I'm hoping if I'm playing Kansas City, I'm hoping it's with Desmond Ridder. But even if it's Aiden O'Connell, I think it's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah, either one of them, I mean, I think it'll still be fine. I mean, because Kansas City's kind of been one of those, been a little down this season for fantasy-wise. But, no, I get that. I was trying to kill time to see where – I feel like I picked a team. Okay, they're down at the bottom. We're good.
Yeah.
The Houston Texans.
Yeah, I played Houston
Jaguars
last week as a streamer, so they're fine.
Versus Jaguars. I was like, wait a second, did I pick a team that's going to like be in the top 5?
Yeah, you didn't pick Minnesota.
Be? Yeah, no.
But now, if we played defenses in our smashes, you would pick Minnesota
every week
because you like picking the top 5.
I would pick the top 5 guy every week, and then they would score top 19 numbers. So yeah, no, I'm good at bringing people down to reality. But yeah, Texans versus Jagoffs this week. I think the Texans are going to just. I guarantee. I would be willing to almost bet money they get at least one defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
Against Mac Jones.
They absolutely dominated against Tennessee. So
yeah, and they're
well,
they really stepped
it's probably
up,
going to Trevor Lawrence based off the fact that he's throwing it. He's practicing today. So.
We'll see. But even still, it's going to be a good week for the Houston Texans defense.
All right. Well, from there, let's roll into the key games of the week. That's the easiest transition of all time.
It is. It's not even long
enough for me to go pee. It's like we're all dreaming.
I know, right?
All right, we got some. So it's Thanksgiving week, so let's give thanks for football.
And my birthday. My birthday's on Thanksgiving this week.
Man, I'm going to get so fucked up on your birthday.
Same. I've invited people that I don't even know to be there. I'm just kidding. I didn't invite nobody.
I'm gonna get so drunk that I'm gonna get an Uber to your house and make a podcast, and then wake up tomorrow and be like, "Holy shit, I made a podcast last night."
That's gonna be crazy because I'm gonna be driving the Uber, and we're not gonna make it here, and the podcast is gonna be us in a field
in
talking
jail.
to a cow
in jail. Anyway, the Bears at the Lions are the first game of the week. That'll be on Thanksgiving Day. It kicks off at noonish, 12:30. And so as far as the quarterbacks, I'm going to play golf, but I'm going to be honest with you, this is tough on either side of the ball. If I've got better options, I'm definitely going to play them. I don't feel real good about either quarterback when it comes to winning me a week, but I'm not going to say don't play them absolutely, because they're both capable of beating good defenses and going out there and doing okay. I don't expect like 30-point weeks out of either one of them, but they could go out there and get you 17, 18 points and be okay. So if they're the only quarterback you got, you don't feel like streaming, I don't think they're going to kill you, but I damn sure don't think they're going to win you the week. Running back wise, I am definitely, we're going to talk about it later when we do my don'ts, but I'm fading the entire Chicago running room against Detroit. Detroit is absolutely dominant against running backs this season.
They don't even have their best guy out there the last 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
And Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to get the backfield by himself this week, so he is an absolute smash. Play him in all your DFS. Play him everywhere you can. Montgomery, even if he plays, it'll probably be limited. So I'm a little worried about, unless Montgomery gets full practices this week, I'm probably going to try to fade him just because I'll be worried about his usage based off the injury, because I know that they got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
they're 10-1. I'm sorry, I forgot to give the records. Bears 4-7 at the Lions 10-1, and so they could take an L this week and still be fine.
Yeah, and it's not even.
And so why risk further injury to Montgomery when you don't need to? It's needless. So I'm willing to play DJ Moore. I guess Keenan Allen. That's it. On the wide receiver side for the Bears. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Jameson Williams. Yes, I'm willing to play him. He didn't kill you last week, but he also didn't dominate. But he is a boomer bust play.
I think I honestly think if Montgomery doesn't play, J-Mo's a smash.
Yeah.
Because they'll play him out of the backfield a lot more to kind of fill that breather room for what's his name.
J-Mo doesn't run the ball.
Oh, J-Mo does run the ball.
He runs it on like reverses, but he didn't play it as like a true running back.
They still pull him, not as a true, but they still pull him
he's
out
only
of the backfield.
He's only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carries all season, and he's only had 1 carry is the most he's ever had in a game, and they're all on reverses.
I feel like I feel like it's been more than that, but
no, I'm looking at the stats.
No, I know that. I'm just saying I feel like that. Yeah. I'm looking at him too, but for some reason, I feel like he's been. They played him out of the backfield.
Maybe you're talking about Khalif Raymond.
I just wondered.
No, Khalif Raymond hasn't run it. This I don't know what wide receiver you're thinking of because
I swear I feel like they've just pulled him out of the backfield a lot more than
he hasn't played in the backfield at all. He runs the reverses. I don't count that as backfield. So
if it counts as a run, it's
damn
out of the
that
backfield.
fucking beatbox is already fucking weak.
If it's out of the backfield, it's still a run. I mean, whatever they call it on here, but
no, I'm just talking.
I just feel like I get the reverse thing, but I'm just saying if they count it as a run, I'm just in my head it's out of the backfield.
But either way, he's only had 6 of those all season. So
I feel like there's been so much more than that. Like I don't know, maybe it's a different team altogether, but I know he's quick and super quick.
Yeah,
and maybe Monty's been here most of the season. Maybe that's what
I mean. It's going to be Vaki. That's who's going to fill in. It's actually going to be Jahmyr Gibbs getting 4,000.
That's what's going to be. It's going to be
because he had 24 touches last week.
Yeah,
Gibbs did. He had how many carries was it? He had 21 carries and 3 receptions. So
Monty had 13 or 11.
Yeah, and he got hurt and I guess left.
Yeah.
But I think you're right in the sense of if Monty doesn't play, it could be good for J-Mo and Laporta because it'll create more opportunity where they don't run the ball.
Exactly. Not exactly halfway what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But not what I was thinking, but what I was trying to say. Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm calling a big game for Shane Zylstra. I'm just kidding.
Who the fuck is Zylstra?
Zylstra is their blocking tight end. He's like the go. Yes.
That guy. I mean, if you're going to call tight end, you need to call right because he's actually got points the last 2 weeks. So
I'm just kidding. I think Laporta's going to have a good week though, and I'm willing to play him. And I'm actually willing to play Kmet since they've changed the offensive schemes and fired their offensive coordinator. Kmet had 10 targets last week, 7 receptions. He had 3 the week before. He's definitely becoming more a part of that offense. So.
He should be. He's a big body. He's got good hands.
Really good tight end.
He's got good hands. I don't know why they don't use him more frequently. Like I'm
I don't
not
understand
a football
tight ends.
But
here's the thing. So the Panthers years and years ago got Greg Olsen from the Bears.
The Bears.
Because they drafted a receiving tight end in Greg Olsen out of Miami, and then they didn't utilize him. They drafted him like a number 6 overall pick.
Yeah, I know it was super high.
And then the Panthers traded to get him, and he became a Hall of Fame tight end. It's like these teams, either they're stuck in their ways or for whatever reason, you look at it and you go, why don't you guys utilize this guy more?
Their skill set. I mean, you could
you have explosive players like Laporta, and it's like you just forget they exist while you're getting. Now Detroit hasn't happened, but you'll see teams getting their cheeks clapped, and you're like, why aren't you utilizing this guy?
Dude's wide ass open out there. Like I don't know. I yell at the screen all the time, and I'm not a football coach or coordinator or any of that thing. But it's like I'm not. I know I put it on my. I
wish we had
TV.
a button that went like what or shocker.
I play one on TV, but I don't like. I'm not who. I'm not.
Oh
that
my
guy.
God! Who the hell cares?
That's close enough.
That works.
All right. So the next game on Thanksgiving is a barn burner.
Oh yeah,
you got a barn burner.
Soup's exciting about this.
The 2-9 Giants at the 4-7 Cowboys. You got Tommy DeVito. You got Cooper Rush, and the Cowboys just got a dub, so they're feeling pretty nice. They came off that big win.
They might go get Daniel Jones and play Jones against the Giants. Would that be crazy?
Daniel Jones said he wants to go to a team that can win. Wait a minute, are you talking about the Giants? Or are you talking about Dallas? First of all, how funny would it be if Dallas goes against Daniel Jones, and then he goes and beats the Giants?
That's exactly what I was saying. Because I joked about it.
Can you sign a 1-week contract with the team?
That would be amazing.
And you come in and you're like, look,
just play 1 week.
Just like you call up Jerry Jones. You're like, look, I don't want to play for you guys for long, but I want to play for you guys for a week. Just give me a 1-week contract. I'll come in. We'll play the Giants. I'll beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And then I'm leaving Monday.
I need to see the division record to see where Dallas is if like one game makes a difference. I don't think it will.
I don't think so because Philly's obviously the top. They're clapping cheeks. And then Washington's doing pretty good.
Yeah. So
Washington's got 7 wins, and they're in second place. And so now, at least 3 games back.
So signing Jerry Jones' grandson, Daniel Jones, as quarterback would not be.
You're convinced of this,
man? It would be hilarious. I'm telling you, but It would be great
Yeah.
if they signed him and then had to play the Giants on Thanksgiving.
That would be great.
Just bringing family together because it's his grandson on Thanksgiving.
All right, so it's easier on these teams to run through the players I would play. Tyrone Tracy.
Yep.
Rico Dowdle, just because of the matchup. CeeDee Lamb, maybe Malik Neighbors. And that's it. I mean, Schoonmaker. If I do need to. It says I don't think Ferguson's playing this week, so I think Schoonmaker's going to play. So I want to add that caveat to my stream.
They got him. They say he's already in concussion. He's still in concussion protocol right now. So he's not going to clear before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I feel like Schoonmaker's going to start again. If Ferguson starts, then don't stream Schoonmaker. I just want to make sure I say that. I would be willing to play whatever starting tight end for Dallas. I don't maybe Johnson, I guess, but Theo Johnson's hurt also.
He had 6 targets. Last week.
So I guess I would play him if he's healthy.
Yeah.
But outside of that, so we're gonna get away from this game because this game made me nauseous a little bit.
I'd probably play Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, 100%. If we're talking kickers, you play Aubrey.
Just because I wanted to say it. So.
The Thursday night game is going to be the 5-6 Dolphins still fighting for their playoff life against the 8-3 Packers. They talked about how they need to be able to go to Lambeau and prove that a team from South Beach can play good in the coldest place on earth, Green Bay.
Look at the weather for this game, though. I'm going to put this out there for everybody. Look at the weather for this game.
What is it?
There's going to be some shit.
Is it negative? Is it snowing?
It's not going to be that bad, but it's going to be bad enough to where I don't think a team from Miami is going to be able to come up and handle.
They better be practicing this week in a deep freezer.
They should be playing Tua should be in a 10 below freezer.
They should
they
should hop a plane to Siberia. Practice there all week.
Practice
to get ready
the whole
for,
time.
Yes.
I mean the time zone might fuck them up, but
that and being in a country, they'll probably get arrested
or shot down before they get there.
yeah.
I don't know, but maybe.
All right, so you got Tua who's balling against Love, who's kind of balling. You know, he hasn't. Last week was not good. The week before was good, and then the 2 weeks before the bye were garbage.
Well, fairly honest here, Jacobs has been kicking ass.
Yeah,
Love hasn't had to do an amazing amount to compensate. So.
I need him to have to do an amazing amount this week. I'm tired of him shitting on my fantasy rosters. Devon Achane, yes, he's in your lineup. Jalen Wright's interesting to me. He was garbage can last week. I didn't see that he was a negative. How did he go negative?
I don't even ask questions anymore.
He had 7 carries for 28 yards, and somehow he's got negative 0.2. I need to see if I can understand this. Let me click on it. So he had fumbled.
So just so everyone knows,
that's because his rushing yards, he only got 2.8, but he lost a fumble. And in the scoring that we have set up, that's 3 points total that he lost.
2 and then 1 for the loss. It's going to be 26 degrees with a high of 33.
Yeah.
On the Green Bay game.
Yeah.
For Miami to come up there and play. Yeah. They've never seen 40-degree weather.
Well, here's the craziest thing about that. That's still warmer than your basement is right now.
No. Well, I mean, maybe. I could play in Green Bay all day. No worries.
Shirtless.
Yeah. I'd be like Jason Kelsey out there, jumping out of the box, shirtless, drinking beer in below zero. But
so it's going to
be a cold match.
I want to say about Jalen Wright. He's not somebody you're going to play, but he's definitely a cuff. Raheem Mostert is somebody you need to retire in fantasy. Get him off your roster. He is absolute garbage. He hasn't done anything since week 8 that's worth shit, and he's just getting worse.
That was his 31st birthday too. Was week 8. So
yeah, it should have been his.
I really don't know 71st. But it would be hilarious if he turns 32 and just is no longer fantasy relevant whatsoever. Like that's the line.
31st or 32nd?
31st. He's 32 now. So or 32nd. Yeah. Sorry, I'm dumb.
Oh, them goddamn beatboxes.
Yeah.
All right. So Josh Jacobs, you're playing him. You're playing Devon Achane. I'm not playing anybody else.
No.
I mean, you're going to play Tyreek. And 2 weeks ago it was fine. Last week it was garbage. And you're just hoping that things start changing.
And it could work out against Green Bay too. So.
And you got Waddle. You're going to play him, but hey, it could go back to what it was before.
That's true. Don't be upset if he's the Waddle of old.
I think Reed's going to have a good week. Dobbs is in concussion protocol. I don't expect him to play. Watson is somebody that you need to be looking at in that case. Jonnu Smith needs to be rostered. He needs to be played. He is dominating right now. The last 2 weeks, he is averaging over 20 fantasy points. He's averaging over 8 targets a game. He's got averaging over a touchdown a game. He's just dominating in these last couple of weeks, and they have found something in him that him and Tua, they're besties right now.
In the 2 tight end league I'm in, I picked him up as a joke early in the season, and he's winning me. I'm in 3rd place in the league that I'm trying to leave this season.
Yeah,
trying to leave and be gone.
Yeah,
and I placed in the top 2 6 weeks because of Jonnu.
Tucker Kraft. Partly. But Tucker Kraft is somebody I would be getting away from. He is not being utilized in that offense. And if you can get away from him for Jonnu Smith, then absolutely do it.
Mm-hmm.
He had a touchdown this week. It's the only thing that saved his fantasy week. Otherwise, it would have been trash. He only had 2 targets. He caught both of them, but one of them was a touchdown. It was only 26 yards. And the week before, he had 0 fantasy points. And then before the bye, he didn't even have 6 fantasy points.
Wow.
So Tucker Kraft was somebody we thought was going to be good, but now he's somebody you need to get the fuck away from.
Yep, be done with him. Be done with him.
Be gone, sir.
Be gone.
All right, the next game on the slate, let's see. On Friday, we got a Friday game. And that game is the 2-9 Raiders are going to be at this is on Amazon Prime, the 10-1 Chiefs. The Chiefs have the weakest 10-1 I've ever seen in my life.
Justin Herbert just ran a 5-yard touchdown.
Nice.
That's good for your smash.
Hell yeah. Aiden O'Connell is slated to be the starter right now, but whoever the starter is, stay the fuck away. I would play Pat Mahomes for sure. He would be a good streamer this week.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't want to play any running backs. I'm going to be honest with you. The Chiefs are really tough, and I just don't want to play any. So I'm going to fade them if I can. I don't know who the running back's going to be for the Chiefs. Is Pacheco coming back? Is it going to be Kareem Hunt? There's a lot going on with the running backs in this game.
Yeah, you don't. There's a lot of insecurity. Like you don't know what's going on.
Let me ask you this: if Kareem Hunt is the only starter, are you playing him in this game?
Yes.
If Pacheco comes back, but you don't know what the split's going to be between him and Hunt, what are you doing?
I'm still playing Hunt.
What about Pacheco?
I'll put Pacheco in because what are they? I don't know. You know, honestly, I say that I probably won't play Pacheco.
The Raiders are trash against the run, though.
Well, but here's the thing: Pacheco is their guy, and they're 10-1. So why risk? This is another situation where it's like, why risk your guy against
to get him ready for the playoffs? Though they got to start getting him gassed up.
Yeah, but why? I don't know.
Get him back in football shape.
I don't know. It's going to be like early.
You got to do it, Andy. You got to get him out there. You got to get him going. You got to get him in that shape. Let's do this.
I think that if Kansas City puts Pacheco against their own defense in practice, will be better than playing against the Vegas defense in a real game.
You got to get the confidence up.
I don't know. I don't know that it's.
Let's just see how the week goes.
Yeah, well, it'll have to play out, but I'm just like, no thanks.
If Aiden O'Connell plays, I'm willing to play Jacoby Myers. If Aiden O'Connell doesn't play, I'm not playing any fucking body.
I'll play the shit out of Trey Tucker if Desmond Ridder starts.
Not me.
I think he's going to get like 93 targets per 3 yards of target. And he'll get 7 of them.
D-Hop and Worthy are both in play for me. Outside of that, stay the fuck away. Kelsey, I guess. Noah Gray, fuck it. I don't know. Do whatever you want with these tight ends on the
Play them both.
Yeah,
Put them both out there.
I'm so fed up with the Noah Gray experiment. I just want to punch Andy Reid. Yes. And then I'm going to have to fight the entire Chief in Kansas City, the whole city.
And the Swifties.
And I can't.
It's going to be.
Never mind.
It's going to be the worst fight you've ever thought you got into.
I absolutely retract that statement.
It's going to be so bad.
I am not taking on any Swifties. I will not punch Andy Reid. I will never do that. I was just lashing out because I'm tired of Noah Gray catching touchdowns. But I would never harm any Chiefs player physically because I would lose that fight against two. Noah Gray would absolutely just mop the floor with my old fat ass.
Reach out to Taylor Swift. She'll write a song about Noah Gray for you.
God,
and
she already has. It's called "Tears on My Guitar" because that's every time Noah Gray scores a touchdown, I cry.
That's what you
it's
cry?
Tears on my cell phone on my fantasy lineup.
On my fantasy lineup. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And so, Brock Bowers, if he plays, yes.
Right now, he says he's healthy. They don't have any.
All right, so Brock Bowers is always in play. I don't care if I'm the quarterback.
That's true.
Because if I'm the quarterback of the Raiders, I'm going to be throwing a lot of passes
to the guy that can catch the game, catch the ball really short because it's going to be short passes. So.
All right, so let's roll into the 1 o'clock slate. The Chargers 7-3 at the Falcons 6-5. This is a big game for the Falcons. They're still trying to keep those playoff hopes alive.
It's going to be 8-3 when they win tonight. So.
That's a fair point. But currently they're 7-3. We'll see how it plays out.
It was a joke, anyways. They're playing the Ravens. I don't know what's going to happen, but I really like the Chargers. What they're doing right now. So.
I do too. It's a good vibe. Herbert and Cousins are both in play. Yes. Dobbins is in play. Obviously, Bijan's in play. Algier's even in play for me in a pinch. If that's all you got, but it's definitely the top two guys. I'm running them out there, and I'm feeling good about it. The Lad McConkey is always in play.
Give him to me. Yep.
Quentin Johnson, yes, and that's it on that side. Drake London, Mooney. Let's click on that. Let's see what's going on here. The last thing we have is still not considered serious. I expect him to play, so I'm willing to put him out there. But if he doesn't play, I'm willing to play Ray. So let's go with that. As it sits right now, I'm running Disley, but if the game happens tonight and Disley doesn't do anything, then maybe I change my opinion on that.
Yeah.
And then you know, Kyle Pitts is your smash, so obviously you're willing to put him out there. So that's that on that.
Disley's already got one catch for 18 yards right now.
Nice.
And the game's been on for 12 minutes. So if that helps you,
that makes me feel pretty good about it because I also need him for tonight. The next game on the slate is the Steelers 8-3 at the Bengals 4-7. Russell's your smash of the week, so he's good. Burrow is always in your lineup. I don't care who he's playing. Najee and Jalen Warren are both in play. And then Chase Brown has just been a beast.
To the moon, man.
Yeah.
To the moon.
George Pickens, yes, please.
Yep.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, yes, please. Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, Mike Williams. Who, if you had to pick one and you just like, this is the guy, and I don't want to look at the projections. I just want you to, by your gut, who's the guy you're throwing in if you had to play one of them in a flex?
Probably Calvin Austin.
He seems to be the guy who's getting play. The only thing that concerns me, this will be the third week since Mike Williams has been there, and I think Mike Williams is a better receiver.
Yeah, well, no, he is, and I think and the crazy part is Van Jefferson's dad is their like offensive or wide receiver coach or some shit. Like his dad is literally part of their.
Is that real? Is that true?
100%? Yeah. Like his dad is some part of. I don't want to misquote what he plays. Like I think it's
but
like
he's a part of the coaching staff.
Yes, exactly, 100%.
Of the Steelers.
Of the Steelers,
I thought he was like part of the coaching staff of like the Rams.
I don't think so.
Or somebody that they played against. I don't know.
All the it might. You know what? No, he played for the Rams. You might be confusing me with the teams he's.
Hold
played
on,
with.
I'm just going to Google Van
Jefferson's dad.
Jefferson's dad. Let's see.
It's probably going to say the Falcons.
No, even worse. Thomas Jefferson's father, because I typed in Jefferson's dad.
Wow. Here we go.
Van Jefferson's dad. Sean Jefferson.
Yep.
Sean, a former NFL and current wide receivers coach for the New York Jets.
Oh, well, that's not even the.
So it was somebody they played.
Oh, there was somebody that played.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay, I thought they made it a thing where they're like, he's playing against his own son. Because he was playing
against his dad. I got you.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to stick with Calvin Austin because if his dad's not there,
if his dad can't affect the change.
I mean, exactly. And I don't have him on any of my lineups, and to trade to you,
I'm going to tell you right now, if my dad was a wide receivers coach and I didn't play for him, I'd be pretty hurt.
Oh yeah,
I'd be like, Dad, why don't you want me?
Yeah, like why don't you need me on your team? But I'm gonna stick with Calvin Austin. I think, dude, just he has this uncanny ability to every once in a while get open way down the field.
Yeah,
just uncanny. But who knows? It's Cincinnati and their offenses or their defense sucks. So
and the last thing I'll say is fuck all the tight ends in this game.
Yeah, no. If anybody, I'm going to play Tanner Hudson.
Yeah, definitely not playing Gesicki
because it's super cheap. And you don't have to worry about.
We're not talking about DFS.
Even still,
you're conflating things.
I'm just like put them out there.
All right, the next game is the Cardinals 6-5 at the Vikings 9-2. You got Kyler Murray, you got Sam Darnold. Yeah, I'm playing them both. I'm not expecting a ton though because the Vikings are a really good defense. James Conner, absolutely. Aaron Jones in my lineups. Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, I guess. He has not been doing much of anything here of late. I mean, before the bye, he put up double digits, and I guess week 8, he put up double digits. But week 5, week 6, week 7, week 9, and last week, he shit on your fantasy rosters.
He did.
So good luck. Justin Jefferson, he's only had one bad week. It was last week, and that means that this week he's going to eat your lunch and then their lunch.
Yep.
And then Addison, I mean, it's going to be boomer bust, but
I take a shot this week. I mean, Arizona's defense has really stepped it up, but I think this is going to be a tough call for them because Addison did so well last week. I don't know how they're going to split their safeties and stuff. And if Justin Jefferson has a big week, Addison's going to get left open somewhere. So it's going to be a good game, I think.
Trey McBride, you're playing him, and don't even talk about it. And then you're playing T.J. Hawkinson. As much as I was saying fuck the tight ends of the last matchup, I'm saying love the tight ends in this matchup.
The whole time. Yes, exactly.
All right, let's see. Let's scroll down. Let's find another key game. Here we go. We'll roll to the 4 o'clock. The Eagles. So the Eagles 9-2 against the current 7-4 Ravens. We'll know what their record is after tonight, but you're playing Hurts, you're playing Jackson, you're playing Barkley, you're playing Henry. Let's roll. You're playing Hill in a pinch, and I'm not really playing Gainwell in a pinch because Barkley just gets all the yards.
And even more than that, even those extra yards, he's going to get them.
A.J. Brown in the lineup. Devonta Smith, if he's playing in the lineup. Zay Flowers in the lineup. Rashad Bateman, he is boomer bust. So you're hoping that he gets that long touchdown. If he doesn't, you're probably going to be sad. Dallas Goedert in this matchup, I'm playing him, and Mark Andrews in this matchup, I'm probably fading him if I can.
I get that.
But you probably can't fade him, so you're going to play him, and then you're going to be disappointed. So good luck with that, because I'm going to be right there with you. And then, all right, the Sunday night game, the 49ers 5-6 at the Bills 9-2. Hopefully Purdy plays. I do not want to see this game with whoever the fuck they played last week. Kyle? I think it's Brandon Allen.
Was it Brandon Allen? Yeah. That was Kyle Allen. Let me look. Let's look.
I'm pretty certain it was Brandon
Allen. It is. So former Panther.
Yeah, that's probably why I knew him. But Brock Purdy, I need him to play because I want this to be a good game. And Josh Allen, you're playing him. If Purdy's out there, you're going to play him, but Buffalo's defense is pretty tough. You're playing McCaffrey. You never sit McCaffrey. You just hope he doesn't have 2 bad weeks, which is not something he does. James Cook, yes, you're playing him. Juwan Jennings. With Purdy, yeah, he even had 7 targets last week with Brandon Allen. It just didn't amount to shit.
It just wasn't a lot, yeah.
The real question is what the fuck do you do with Deebo Samuel? It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. He's garbage.
It's been pretty bad this year.
If I had to ask you in a half-point PPR, and I hope you don't have it pulled up, where do you think, what wide receiver do you think Deebo is?
I just deleted it because I don't want to know.
Wide receiver 41 on the season.
I pulled it up and I was like, I'm not interested in seeing this.
Wide receiver 41 on the motherfucking season.
Yeah, that's depressing.
It's sad. It's like, what is going on with Deebo?
I made a trade to get him and Justin Herbert, and luckily Justin Herbert has made the trade worthwhile. I'm just going to say that. It's been,
Because I just don't know. He's had, like, he started the season out great. Boom, boom, bye, and then it was trash, good, trash, good. I'm sorry, he was out, injury. And then week 9 bye, and then okay, trash.
And we thought it was going to be better with Ayuk out.
It has
with
not.
Injury, and it has not been better
with Ayuk
out at all.
And so I don't know what to do with Deebo. You got him, you're going to play him. You're just going to hope that he figures shit out.
Something turns up this week. Yeah, exactly.
I'm playing Cooper. I'm playing Shakir. I'm probably benching Keon unless I absolutely got to have him. He's been out 2 weeks with the injury and then the bye. So it's 3 weeks since he's been out. And so that kind of coincides with Cooper showing up to the team. And so I don't know how the target's going to be dispersed now. And so I'm a little concerned there. Shakir, I'll be honest with you. Out of all the wide receivers, I know they got Shakir listed as number 2. Shakir's the only one I feel confident
Shakir's
with.
the one. He's going to get
the most targets. He's going
to play the most time. I mean, since Cooper's been there, he's been injured.
Yeah,
80% of the time. Like he's dealt with a wrist injury the whole time, just about. And he played last week, which he played well, but there was nobody else.
Right,
Shakir. I don't know. I think if Keon plays, he'll still be serviceable, but not like
I mean, Shakir is definitely in. If I had to pick between him and Cooper, I'm playing Cooper just because Cooper is the dude.
He is definitely the dude.
Kittle's in. Kincaid is. I don't know.
I wouldn't play Kincaid.
Yeah.
I'd pivot to a lot of other tight ends before I worried about putting Kincaid in. Even if he's healthy, I don't even care. Like I don't feel confident enough in his role.
Right now
their offense, like he gets 7-8 targets and he catches 2 to 5 of them. Like, it's not good,
and it's like for 14 yards.
Yeah, exactly. It's not very good at all.
All right, the Monday night game is the Cleveland Browns 3-8 versus the Broncos. I am fading Winston. We'll talk about that more. I'm playing Bo Nix. He is on a heater. Chubb, I in a pinch, because he's going to get the usage.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck to do with the running backs on their side. Javonte Williams had 16.7 fantasy points last week. The previous week, not this past week.
God, I was like,
this last week
fucked up
against Las Vegas, he had 1.4,
and that was generous.
Yeah,
he looked like garbage can out there. Like
I estimate he had 1.5.
They couldn't run the ball at all against honestly a soft defense.
McLaughlin had more at 4.4 than the other two fucking clowns combined.
Yeah, it's
so I don't want anything to fucking do with their running backs because and here's the thing,
you'll never call it.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if I gotta play somebody, I'm gonna play Javonte just because I think he has the best chance of going off. But I would rather play Justice Hill than any of these guys right now.
I'd rather. Who did I say you can go pick up for Baker's bottom? Oh, we haven't done that yet, but. Yeah,
no, we'll do that in a minute. But I'm probably fading the wide receivers because I'm fading Winston in this game. Denver is fucking tough, and their defense is tough. And here's the thing: maybe one of these it's not because I don't think any wide receiver on the Cleveland side is going to be good. I just don't know if it's going to be Tillman or Judy or even Elijah Moore.
I'd probably play Judy. I feel confident playing Judy. He's been.
If I have to pick one, if I got to pick one, he's the one I pick just because I think he's the most explosive of them.
Tillman's dealing with an injury. He got knocked out this last game with the snow and I think a concussion or something. But I think Judy's going to be the guy. He's going to get 8-10 targets. I think he'll be okay. But Elijah Moore, I'd probably fade off. But
and Cortland Sutton's in, Vele's in. And then Marvin Mims is a dart throw right now. He's starting to be utilized more. His snap percentages aren't going up, but he's getting more targets.
He did get more targets,
so he could be a dart throw. But Njoku's in, even though he had a bad week last week. And then I'm not touching any of the tight ends. They just got rid of. We didn't even talk about it, but they cut fucking.
They waived him. Yeah, we talked about it because I said, "Who the hell?"
Cares? Oh, that's right. You did talk
Dulcich,
about it.
The one we thought was going to be the better
guy. He had a good season. And then they're like, nah, this dude's fucked.
Yeah, we're like, we want Troutman and Kroll. We'll figure out from these two which one's going to get no targets the next 4 games. So,
all right, let's roll to Baker's bottoms.
Unless they happen to be power bottoms.
What's a power bottom?
A power bottom is a bottom that is capable of receiving an enormous amount of power. Actually, Mac, you got it backwards. You see, a power bottom is actually generating all the power by doing most of the work.
Does the power have to do with the size or the strength of the bottom?
Now, Dennis, I've heard that speed has something to do with it. Speed has everything to do with it. You see, the speed of the bottom informs the top how much pressure he's supposed to apply. Speed's the name of the game. Right, buddy?
Right, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
So Tell me about those power bottoms you got.
So we want to talk about speed. Let's talk about Jeremy McNichols.
That dude fast.
Yeah, he's fast. So he's the, third back behind Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, who both suffered injuries these last games. And I told y'all last week, Amir Abdullah going to be the third string back between Rashad White and Alexander Madison, and there's a potential that they both miss. And he got you freaking top 10 RB numbers as a Baker's bottom. Jeremy McNichols can do the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean he's
had a 2 touchdown game this season already.
He has, and he also averaged 7 yards a carry on 5 yards or 5 carries this last week. So, dude can potentially come out there and get you an RB1 numbers.
Absolutely.
And you're picking him up off waivers.
Yeah, and if those two are down, he's going to eat lunch.
I'll go on a limb and say if one of them is down, he's still rosterable.
I don't know.
You can still roster it.
I think if you go back and look at his page of all his points, his best weeks. Obviously, this makes sense. His best weeks is when but I think every week one of them's been down. He's been. Like a couple of weeks, he's been okay. He's been like okay. good.
Yeah.
And then, but he's been at least.
Well, he is definitely a guy that he can do something with minimal touches.
Right.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah, he don't have to have a lot to do a little.
He can come out.
He doesn't have to have a lot. He doesn't have a lot. He doesn't have to have a lot to do a lot.
There it is. So I think this guy can come in. He can have 30% of the snaps and get 12 touches total. Yeah. And still get you 8-10 fantasy points.
100%.
Or better. So he's only on the 0% of leagues. If that matters,
out there.
He's out there.
Hey, Austin, if you're listening to this, drop Ogunbowale, who you've played since week 4 for whatever fucking reason,
and pick up McNichols.
And go pick up McNichols off of waivers. He's even if both of them play, he's still a better option than
he's still more viable.
Fucking Ogunbowale.
Yes, that's true.
You could have picked up so many. Look, you could have picked up so many players between now and then. Roshan Johnson, fucking Antonio Gibson, me. That would have had more fantasy points than Ogunbowale.
Yep, or the same.
Yes, or at least
the same fantasy points.
You could have benched. You could have just dropped Ogunbowale and left your running back open, and you'd have still been
got similar points the last 4 weeks. Yeah, exactly.
It's the most confusing fantasy decision that I've ever seen anyone make.
It's crazy.
That I thought was a credible fantasy player.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna send this podcast to him and hope that he listens to the 1 hour and 35 mark so that he can get the advice that he's been needing.
Send him half of it so he only gets, because the rest of it he's not going to listen to.
I'll just tell him to fast forward to the 1 hour and 34 minute mark,
so
and then listen from there on. And then it's not long after that.
Yeah, that way he doesn't have to listen to the rest of our rambling. But
well, I don't think
he might need to, though.
He needs to.
I'm just saying.
He 100% needs to.
Either way. And for next, Baker's bottom, I talked about it earlier. He's owning 8% of leagues. Trey Tucker. Desmond Ridder came into the game. If Desmond Ridder starts, and if Aiden O'Connell starts, I don't care which one, because when Aiden O'Connell started,
what if Daniel Hayes starts?
If Daniel Hayes starts, it'll be the same as Daniel Jones starting.
Wow,
which might happen. This is a thing that might happen.
Daniel Jones said he wants to play for a contender.
Yeah, he said that, but sometimes what you say and what happens are two completely different things.
Title of my autobiography.
Just want to say,
and sex tape.
Yeah, it was good. It was a little long, but it was okay. B minus, but either way, Trey Tucker.
Well, you grading my sex tape?
A B minus, yeah. But
that's the best grade I've ever got.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Siskel and Ebert.
2 thumbs in your butthole. But
wow, that was aggressive for the podcast.
But yeah, Trey Tucker
going to get weird.
Trey Tucker, 8% owned out there, and he had.
And I'm not going to edit that shit out.
No, we're not at all. He had 8 targets this last game, and 5 of them came off of Desmond Ridder starting the game in the fourth quarter after Gardner Minshew got his collarbone broken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're looking at a guy that got straight targeted the whole time Desmond Ridder's out there, and if he starts, and when Aiden O'Connell started previously in the season, Trey Tucker was actually viable. Right. But so I just think that either one of them.
Well, I've dropped Trey Tucker in every fucking league that I had him, and I'm not going to go pick him back up. So he's out there for whoever wants him.
Yeah, Baker's bottom. You get him, he'll help you out next week. This week might not be much because
I generally love your bottoms.
Everybody has everybody.
Fuck Trey Tucker. So I was so tired of carrying that guy on my roster.
He's going to make a reemergence.
Yeah,
you're going to hate this next one.
Uh-oh. God, if it's Noah Gray,
he's owned in 6% of leagues.
I'm going to punch you in the face.
6% of leagues. Noah Gray has been.
This is where the partnership ends.
Man, I'm
you
telling
have
you.
your own goddamn podcast. I'm going to start my own. Fuck you. Noah Gray can get the hell off this.
I am the number one fuck that guy for this, but.
Yep, you just climbed to the top of the damn list.
2 weeks in a row, Noah
he's
Gray,
got 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks.
He has been targeted in the red zone twice as much as Kelsey has.
Stop saying that.
Okay.
Stop saying that.
3 times as much as Kelsey has. But this guy,
hurting my heart right now.
And it could come back to bite you in the ass.
I'm just going to shake it off because you need to calm down.
It could come back to bite you in the ass. This guy he's become their guy in the red zone. I mean, even though they have a guy,
I'm not playing. I'm not doing
one.
it, dude. Because as soon as I put him in my lineup,
he's not going to do anything.
He is going to shit the bed.
Look, he is the best ball tight end you can have.
Oh God, I wish I would have had him and Kelsey in best ball. That would be if I played in only best ball and I had them both. Then I would love him.
I don't have any Kelseys, and I have him in all my best ball leagues. Noah Gray in all my best ball leagues, and it's only worked out this year. Right now, that's it.
If I wasn't fat and had the stamina of like I don't know something that doesn't have a lot of stamina, I would literally want to fight you right now. But I know that I'm not. It's like I'm just gonna vomit after 30 seconds.
It's like my best ball team. It only happens every once in a while. It only works occasionally. Like with Noah Gray, it'll probably stop this next week.
I don't even know what any of that means, but I get it. I somehow understood it.
It makes sense without making any sense.
All right. Well, anyways, name all your bottoms again because we've gone off track so much. And
Jeremy McNichols.
Yep.
Trey Tucker and Noah Gray.
No, say his name right.
Noah Gray.
Nope. Noah motherfucking Gray.
I'm not on that.
Yeah, well, I'm on that.
I feel it, but I'm not on it.
This button that
Noah the motherfucker Gray. Does that work?
This next button I'm about to hit it pertains to my don'ts, and it also pertains to Noah Gray.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's me every time Noah Gray scores a touchdown and Kelsey's blocking somebody. That's I can't even understand my anger for him.
No fathom.
I need to go talk to a therapist to better understand why I'm so angry with Noah Gray.
I'm here for you.
Anyway, my don'ts. Don't play no. I'm just kidding. My don'ts this week are Darnold versus Arizona. Now you're sitting here going, why the fuck wouldn't I play Sam Darnold versus Arizona? Well, here, let me tell you why. Here's the last 4 games that Arizona has given up to opposing quarterbacks, and understand that there are some good ones and some bad ones in this, but either way, they shut them all down. Miami, 14.7 fantasy points. Chicago, 9.2 fantasy points. The New York Jets, 4.0 fantasy points. And last week, the Seattle Seahawks, 13.4 fantasy points. I don't know what happened. Arizona showed up. They got their cheeks clapped this past week by Seattle, and they still shut down Geno Smith.
Yep.
Their defense is locking down wide receivers and making it hard. Their pass rush is in the quarterback face. And I'm just telling you that this week is not the week to play Darnold. If the trend continues, the beginning of the season, Arizona was bleeding points to quarterbacks. And then something happened. If you go look at the splits, it's like they shut off. And since then they have just dominated. And so I'm fading Darnold, and you should fade Darnold as well. Every Chicago running back at Detroit. No, right now, Detroit is number 2 against quarterback or running backs. They give up on average 14.7 points. And that is not to like the A running back. That's to all the opposing running backs combined.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They have been in the last in this season, in all 11 weeks they played because of the bye, they have averaged they have been top 8 against running backs 6 times. They have been top 8 against running backs, top 16 against running backs in 9 weeks out of 11. So 6 out of 11 they have been the top 8 defense against opposing running backs for the week. And 9 weeks out of 11, they have been a top 16, a top half against opposing running backs. And if you were playing a team that had a dominant running back, you know, if you had a team coming in with like a McCaffrey or somebody you knew that was like the main dude, they were going to get that volume, then they wouldn't be on here. But the problem is with Chicago right now, there's no dominant dude. You got Roschon, you got Swift, and I don't know who it is when they get the good touches. Maybe one of them comes out of this week okay. The question is, who is the one going to be?
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to fade all the Chicago running backs if I can against Detroit, but just based off of how they are. And then last but not least, anyone but Zay Flowers for Baltimore against Philadelphia. I tried to call it last week with Cooper Kupp against the Philadelphia defense, and I'll be honest with you, in garbage time when they were playing off, you know, Cooper Kupp came back and scored his points. But before that, he wasn't doing great.
Any wide receiver.
What did I say? Running back?
You said anyone.
Well, I'm sorry. Any wide receiver.
I just say, are we talking like holding Derrick Henry back, or like?
No,
I know you're going to play him. Like, but are we expecting less from him?
Any wide receiver.
Okay.
My bad.
I just want to make sure that I'm not like, okay, I'm got to pivot from Derrick Henry, pivot from him, but
any wide receiver but Flowers. I would even bench Flowers if I felt like I had a better choice and a better matchup, but I'm still, I'm smart enough to know that somebody's got to catch the passes. I don't think it's going to be Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Flowers. And so unless they get super lucky, or unless Philadelphia starts blowing their doors off and they get garbage time like the Rams did, then I don't expect. Because Philly they have been shutting down wide receivers except for last week. And again, they still beat the shit out of the Rams, and they took their foot off the gas in the second half.
Well, I say realistically, they still shut the beginning of the game. It was still limited.
Yeah,
Puka had like
Puka was the only one that was really doing anything,
and that was it.
Yeah,
and it was still short yardage. He only had like 11 or 12.
But Puka is a freak, and I would never bench Puka.
That's true.
But and so there it is. Sam Darnold against Arizona. All the Chicago running backs and any wide receiver but Flowers for Baltimore are my don'ts.
I get that.
All right, from there, hit that kaboom because we about to do the smashes. It's right there. It's right there in the center. It was in the center.
Kaboom.
There was another one that started. What's the one under kaboom?
I don't think so.
Kaboom.
Great.
My quarterback smash, and this could also be the streamer, is Bryce Young versus Tampa.
Ooh.
Bryce Young, and I'm not expecting him to be a top fucking 4 quarterback on the week.
Yeah.
I expect him to be a top 10, and he's playing against Tampa, who is trash against quarterbacks. I think this game's going to be a good game. Could potentially be a bit of a shootout, kind of like what the game was against Kansas City. Kansas City has a great defense. Tampa has a shitty defense. And we just saw what Bryce did against a great defense in this offense. The way they're running this offense, things are clicking. And I think that Bryce Young is going to go out there and have a really good game against Tampa. So my quarterback smash of the week is Bryce Young versus Tampa.
Nice. I went just as deep as yours. Well,
oh, snap. I think Daniel Jones?
Close. CJ Stroud.
Okay. That was not close.
It's pretty close considering if you look at what he's done this year as far as finishing and stuff. But he's playing the Jaguars, and he's got Nico. He's got his whole offensive line with him. Everybody's with him. And I think it's going to be a good match against the Jaguars.
I just want to mention, it must be a boring-ass game because I'm not getting any notifications for this game on my phone.
It's pretty boring right now. J.K. Dobbins is doing pretty good, mostly on the...
Yeah, but I got J.K. playing it. My phone's like, nah, we're not giving you notifications, bitch.
Nothing big. He's had 6 carries for 41 yards, 2 receptions for 16.
Okay.
And Justin Herbert had 6 for 70 completions and 1 rushing touchdown.
Okay.
So it's nothing.
It's a bit of boring.
It's 7-0 right now.
7-0.
7-0 right now.
Fucking beatboxes.
I don't know.
They may be Kool-Aid, but them bitches be hitting.
Yeah, no, they hit a little harder. They slap.
So yours is CJ Stroud versus the Jets. The Jets have been bleeding points to quarterbacks here
versus the Jags.
Oh, well, so have the Jets.
The Jags
I was trying to read your paper from over here.
Worse than bleeding, the Jags have. So
yes.
And they don't have anybody that compete back, so this could bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
It could be a mixing game, but I think they're
could be both.
They're going to push Stroud out there. So,
all right, who's your running back? Is it Joe Mixon?
My running back it's Bucky Irving.
Oh, I love that.
Versus Carolina.
He was almost mine, but I was like, I didn't want to pull two from the same game.
Yeah, no, I did pull two from the same game, but not my running back. But
there's no rule against it.
I know. But I probably shouldn't.
I pulled two from the same team in this before. I just was like being
I pulled the same
weird.
team and same game, but but I think Bucky Irving is proving himself to be the guy.
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's just, and they're playing Carolina.
Yeah.
And while I think Carolina's defense is really stepping up, I feel like there's a match to play when you have Evans back and you have that threat downfield. They're going to have to watch one or the other. And with Kansas City,
well, I think at this stage in his career, Bucky's a better running back than Kareem Hunt is.
Well, yeah.
So,
and last week against Kansas City, I don't think Kansas City has the same threat that Mike Evans brings to the table.
No,
there's nobody there.
No, well, yeah, they do. His name's Noah Gray.
Oh, well. I mean.
Noah Gray's their top receiver right now.
And that's
I'm sorry, Noah motherfucking Gray.
And that's very true, except Mike Evans is 3 Noah Grays stacked into one person, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
they still got to get him to 1,000 yards this season. I don't know how they're going to do it.
He is super talented. He's going to get it. It's going to be. He'll probably get 360 yards this game.
God, I hope not.
That Mike Evans is going to just blow up this game. But
look, I don't expect the Panthers to win, but I don't need them giving him 360 to Mike Evans.
But either way, I think Bucky Irvin's going to have a game. This dude is just increasingly every week looking more and more like the best back in the league or one of the best backs in the league. And the more opportunity he gets, the more he makes defenses look like asshole. So,
all right. Well, speaking of making defenses look like asshole, I got Tyrone Tracy at Dallas.
Nice.
I think that I just need that offense to be a little bit more serviceable with DeVito in there, although DeVito was on the injury report, so I don't know who the fuck they're. I guess it would be Tyrod Taylor. Or not Tyrod Taylor. Drew Lock, who I actually would think would be better.
It would be better, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think Tyrone Tracy is going to get back on track against Dallas. Dallas generally is garbage against running backs, and unless all the running backs get injured in the game, like it happened to him against Washington. So, and then my wide receiver smash of the week is Tank Dell at Jacksonville.
Nice. Hey,
yeah, we got both of them.
Oh, we got them both in there. Yeah,
I didn't want to go with Nico. I almost went with Nico, but I was like, and this might be more of a personal thing because I have Tank Dell, and I was like, I need Tank Dell to get back on track, and I'm hoping this is a game where it's like Stroud's going to be like, let me get my dude on track. Yep. Let me hit some big passes on this one. So go ahead and talk about Nico Collins for us.
I played the exact same cards you did, but opposite.
Okay.
I have Tank Dell everywhere, and every time I play a smash, they suck, and their counterpart does great. So I was like, if I call him as a smash, it doesn't affect me in fantasy because I don't have him anywhere. And I have Tank Dell everywhere. So
I love it.
If Nico goes out there and smashes, okay, I sounded like I knew what I was talking about for my smash. But if he doesn't smash and Tank Dell does, I win everywhere.
Okay.
So I'm going Nico Collins. And plus, I think it's 2 weeks back off injury, and he's slowly getting worked in. Last week he got a touchdown.
Yeah.
Dude is the man with them. Don't get me wrong. But I just think that it's going to be a good week for him. I mean, it's a soft matchup against the Jags.
I think they're going to go out there and just shit all over Jacksonville.
They really are. I think it's going to be one of those.
This will be the game that gets Peterson fired.
It's going to be like a Lion-esque game where they come out there, they win, and they're already winning, and they just keep everybody out there, keep winning.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
Let's give everybody a touchdown. That's what the Lions
Speaking of the Lions, I saw a stat today. I told you about it beforehand, but I want to bring it up on air.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember the exact numbers, but it's 1-6. I know this part. Dan Campbell started 1-6 as the head coach of the Lions.
Yeah.
And since then, it's either or 32-9 or 37-9. But I think it's 32-9 that he is gone since they started 1-6. I know the 9's right. I'm not 100% sure about 37 or 32.
Yeah.
But either way, it's 30-something and 9.
Yeah.
And
it's
that's
big
impressive.
number and then a little single
and that's
digit
impressive.
number 9. Yeah.
I love what the Lions are doing. I really want Detroit to win the Super Bowl this year. I want them to get that, and I'll probably cry. That's how emotional I am. I'll probably cry if Detroit wins it. Not because I give a fuck about the city of Detroit. I don't give a shit about them.
Yeah.
But Dan Campbell to me is a dude who puts his absolute heart and fucking soul into it. Like he's giving of himself to that city and that team. And if he wins, it's going to mean so much to him. And because it means so much to him, it's going to mean so much to the players.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be such an emotional thing for them to be able to accomplish. And for a city that's been shit on for years.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a little bit off track. So who's your tight end smash?
TJ Hawkinson, former Lion that we're talking about here.
Yeah, which that's such a weird thing for me. Hawkinson was with the Lions, didn't get used at all. They're like, fuck this guy, like minimally. They trade him to Minnesota. They draft Laporta. And for one season, Laporta is the dude.
Yeah.
And now he's basically the new Hawkinson. Yeah. They should trade Laporta away. And then Brandon Wright can be like the new dude.
The new dude, yeah.
Or no, I don't know. Who's the guy I brought? Zylstra. Let's get Zylstra out there. Let's do this.
Zylstra's been in the league for like 30 years, though, right?
14 and a half.
He's been around a while.
In football years, he's at least 87.
That makes sense. Now, TJ Hawkinson had a big week this last week. I think a lot of it was in the overtime.
Yeah.
When they got into overtime. But I think they're increasingly moving him more and more into the offense.
He's a volume guy. That's what he depends on.
While Arizona's defense is pretty good, I think they're going to need Hawkinson more this week than
when I say don't play Darnold. That doesn't mean nobody's going to catch passes.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
He's not going to score zero fantasy points. That would be crazy.
Something. I don't think that Addison's going to do a lot, but
I don't either.
But I think
it's going to be the Jefferson and
Hawkinson game.
And I do want to say this. I think Minnesota's going to win the game.
Oh yeah.
I just don't think that it's going to be because Darnold drops 350 and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Or 260 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Unless there's 5 interceptions involved.
Yeah. All right. My tight end smash is Travis Kelce. I'm trying to will this into fucking existence.
Will it, baby.
I need Noah Gray to shut the fuck up. That's what I need. I need like, hey, Noah, listen. I want you to listen up to me right now.
We know you listen to this podcast.
Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Quit catching goddamn touchdowns and sit your ass down. This is Travis Kelce's team, bitch.
Yep.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yep.
You're not Travis Kelce, Noah Gray. That's not who you are. You're just a bitch. Go sit your bitch ass down and let Travis Kelce go out there and get what he has earned by being the greatest tight end ever to play the game. So
yes,
Noah Gray, shut the fuck up.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck Noah Gray. So I'm trying to will it into
nicely.
Yeah. No. Fuck. I want
to be nice though.
I mean it meanly. Not nicely. I mean it meanly.
What?
Yeah, Noah Gray, he can bite my ass.
Turn the numbers up. Turn it up.
So Travis Kelce, I put on here versus Kansas City.
That makes sense.
I don't know who the fuck Kansas City is.
Well, he is their biggest enemy.
No.
He's their
Noah
biggest
Gray
competitor.
Is his fucking nemesis. He don't even know
He's part of Kansas City,
He's
right?
helping Noah Gray. He doesn't even realize that Noah Gray is his nemesis.
It's insane. But yes, I know.
Yeah.
I feel what you're trying to say.
See, this is Kelce time right here. This is where he's like, all right.
He's playing the Raiders, by the way.
Thank you.
I got you.
And this is Kelce time. This is where it's time for him to be like, it's my time.
Dude, sit down. Sit on the sidelines.
Hey, Kermit the Mahomes, you throw me the fucking ball. And he's like, I got you, Travis. I'll throw you the football. Please don't hit me anymore. And he's like, sit the fuck down, Noah. And Noah's like, I guess I'll go build a fucking ark. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Right on. Right on.
And so
I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but
it was Noah's Ark and it was Kermit the Mahomes. I don't know. And first of all, they're playing Vegas, and that was the other thing I want to mention. I think they played Vegas earlier, but you remember the Vegas defensive backs that had the Kermit the Frog with the Mahomes jersey?
Oh, yeah,
and then they asked Mahomes about it, and he was like, "It'll all be handled on the field. I ain't worried about it." I'm hoping this is the week he really handles
This
it.
is when it
they beat him earlier. I'm pretty sure. I may be wrong, but pretty sure they beat him earlier in the season. But
they beat Vegas, but Max kind of had a number on him. Like it was a close game. It was a lot closer than people imagined it would be.
Yeah, so I think this is the week that they go put 50 on him, and it's all because Kelsey scores 6 touchdowns, and every touchdown he hip thrusts in Noah Gray's face. He walks over the bench and he does the who were the wrestlers that did the
Generation X.
Generation X crotch chop.
It was like
right in Noah Gray's face.
It was a Triple H and Shawn Michaels and
while he's hip thrusting,
just straight on let him know.
Yeah, and then he gives him a double bird, and he goes, "That's from Daniel."
The whole time,
and he walks away.
He'll do it. I've seen it.
I wrote him a long message on social media, and I'm hoping that he. I'm kidding. I didn't. But
you should have put it in the form of a song. He probably would have figured it out.
Yeah. Well, I can't write like his girlfriend does, so I didn't attempt to do that. But I'm going to be crying if Noah Gray has another 2 touchdown week while Travis Kelce's blocking people.
I'll be honest. I'm going to love it because
I need you to shut the fuck up right now. Just you and Noah Gray, do me a favor. Shut the fuck up.
We're the worst.
Shut the fuck up.
I get it.
Yes. But anyway, hey, listen, those beat boxes hit a little harder than we expected, so I do apologize for the last few minutes of the show. We got off the rails a little bit, but we're going to go watch the rest of Monday Night Football.
Yes.
But before we do so, I want to let you know that anything we say or do helps you get to that average place in your league. That means we did our job, because if you finish average,
you don't finish last.
That's exactly right. And so we hope you guys have a good fantasy week out there. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and be thankful for D's Nuts and for fantasy football.
Also.
So y'all be good.
Later.
Holla.